Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Manny gets into the air to left field. Back goes Nimmo. Looking up. It's gone! Grand slam, Manny Machado. Man, oh man, oh Manny. Fly ball to deep right. And it's way back and gone. Sept caps a 9-pitch at bat with a 3-run homer.
High fly ball, deep right center, Buxton back, looking up, and that ball is a home run over the high wall, bouncing back onto the field. Home run number 32. It's a tie game.
It's easy to try to say, hey, I have a goal, I want to achieve it. There's nothing to risk. But when you go out there and you lay it all on the line and, you have a legacy, you have an undefeated record, you have, whatever it is. It's the people that choose to dare it all, choose to risk it all, that are the ones who have a chance to be great. And so certainly Terrence did that. I think for us, we want our guys to take that same mentality. Don't worry about what if. Live in the what is world. Live in the, hey, let's go attack this world. And so, as you said, we have a great opportunity this week. Start Big Ten play, face an excellent team, to have a ranked team come to Memorial Stadium. And, we want our guys to go attack it too.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What is up, DB?
How are we doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
I'm good.
Feeling all right?
Not too bad.
Yeah?
Sleep was a little interrupted, but I'm cool.
Yeah?
Burrito was fantastic, though. Shout out to Les.
First time around it was, at least.
No, I don't think that was it. I really don't. Might have been the spicy gumbo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which was sensational.
I do like gumbo. Gumbo's tasty.
It's one thing I can, not the one, but it's fire.
Okay, so I have to ask this, since your mom's from Houston, right?
Yeah.
Did she teach you how to make the gumbo, or
Yes,
is this?
did.
Okay.
Yep. No, I've had a couple of, she has long since stopped eating as spicy food.
Sure.
So I've kind of added my own Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry. Spices?
Twist.
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought it was Chubby Checker.
Him too.
Well,
Pretty sure it's Chubby Checker.
Okay.
So it's cool. It's really good. Use little lump crab meat, some scrimp, andouille, smoked, which also may have been it. Chicken. Made my own roux. I bake my roux.
Yeah?
I don't really want to stand there for 45 minutes and stir to get the dark color. So I bake. I actually use rice flour. Baked it, got it to a nice little brown. Had my little Trinity. Actually, it's just a dual thing because I don't really like celery. Celery.
I don't either.
So I did use jalapeno, though.
Yeah, they say that it doesn't have any flavor. I think cooked celery tastes terrible.
Yeah, who's they? Celery has flavor?
Yeah, it does. Did they glaze the windows? This is a thing that happened?
Did they glaze the windows?
Or is that just like fog?
What
You see what I'm talking about?
Why would they? No, I see it. Why would they glaze the windows?
Well, I gotta
They
know if
were
it's so you
tired.
can't see in. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't know, but that looks pretty even lines to be fog, but it might be my imagination. Shane, can you touch the window and see if that's fog or glaze, please?
you had me at hello.
I'm sorry. I can't.
That was on last night. What did he say?
It's on the other side, so
Oh, so it could be fog on the other side.
yeah, it's fog on the other side.
Okay.
I wish they would glaze the windows. That'd be cool.
I know. I thought that was like a dream come true for you, so you don't have to lower the blinds all the time. People can't see in here.
Yeah, my barber his shop is beautiful, so who am I? But he chooses no blinds, no.
Yeah, just wide open.
Yeah, man. It's kind of weird.
It's like just in a zoo in there, just like.
And he has a really cool location, so he's right.
He's right on the corner. He's got a visible
So
spot.
it's like, that guy's weird. What's she looking at? Stuff like that. Now, I don't, it'll be in a similar fashion. We're going to have to go with some drapes at the old radio network because we are right outside the player lounge.
Yeah, feel a little exposed there.
And that's where we're like getting our gear and stuff. So
Well, out
it
in the
will
open.
be very busy.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Well, you can see all your guys though.
Yeah, but like work is work.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to hear the whole too good. You know how they talk trash.
It does that. Yeah. I mean, I think it's silly, but.
Do you?
Well, I think
you ever spent much time in a locker room with a bunch of
no, I just okay, if
testosterone-filled alphas?
I get it, but we're also going on 30 years unless they're getting some of that replaced. Some of the testosterone is gone.
Oh no.
Unless they're going to next gen like us, some of that testosterone isn't there anymore.
Oh no.
At this point, it's ego and hopes and dreams.
I got a nice Dumas set up his schedule, so I kind of know where he's at, and we have a similar temperament.
Mm-hmm.
He's chill because he knows he won't see me on Friday night because we are busy. We have Bevy West, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, BD asked an interesting question.
What BD asked?
He goes, if the game plan...
that's my...
We haven't seen him in a minute.
Emphasis.
BD?
Mild to moderate.
Behavioral
disorder.
If the game plan confidence level for the Colorado game last year was a 10 out of 10, where do you think it is for Michigan?
I'm not sure. So there's a couple things I think that are true, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if Nebraska is as good as we think they are.
Okay.
So we'll see. I think last year they were just clearly better than Colorado. I don't know if and conversely, I do think Michigan is better than we think.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I would assume this team's pretty confident. I think they like the game plan. I think the coaching staff is extremely confident. I think Coach Butler is very clear in what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a contingency for Underwood, but I think Michigan is watching them against Central Michigan. They're better than we think. They're better than we think. So at least better than what I hear.
Okay.
In my opinion.
I don't know. I guess I haven't thought that much about.
I hadn't either until rewatching them yesterday.
Yeah, how good or bad I think Michigan is. I think there's obviously some things they do
which
well.
Is maybe a sign of good things, right? Where we stop worrying so much about the opponent.
Yeah, I think they're not as good as the boogeyman some people think they are.
Because they're Michigan?
Yes.
But I still think that has to do with the fact Nebraska hadn't been very good.
I agree.
I don't think it's about the opponent. I think we just have never really thought our teams were very good.
And that probably is part of it. I think
this is the first time this is a gettable point spread against a top 25 opponent in years.
Yeah, really long time. What was it against Ohio State last year? That was,
I don't know, 1,000.
It was, I think 17. I wanted to say 17 and a half, something like that. No, I think a lot of it for me is I think they're maybe better than they looked at times this year. I don't think I think some people still have in their head that it's Michigan from 2 years ago, and that's certainly not the case.
I don't know. I don't think so.
That's what it seems like for a lot of people I talk to, is that there's a little bit of a boogeyman.
I think, if last year wouldn't have happened, then maybe you would go back to national championship. But I think most people are aware this isn't 2023 Michigan. I don't think anybody. I don't think anybody thinks that.
I think there's certain areas, like specifically offensive, defensive lines, where they think, "Oh, it's Michigan. They must still."
I could see that.
X.
I could see that.
Maybe not as a whole. That's a fair point.
I could see that.
But I do think there's places where Michigan has regressed a little that maybe we're not accepting yet.
I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Couple things. Number one, Nebraska's got to get guys to the ground
for sure.
I think tackling is paramount. I'll be curious to see if Nebraska comes after a punt. I think they can get one.
You think so?
I do.
They've been close a couple times.
I do. I'm just watching Michigan, and I like doing that stuff because that's what I help do for our team.
Mm-hmm.
But,
you think there's some opportunities with the way Michigan blocks it?
And Michigan's front can move.
Mm-hmm.
They're twitchy.
Yeah.
So I could see why it's a pick. It's basically what, a pick 'em.
Yeah.
That's about right.
What is it? Last I saw here.
Lance, you have Michigan winning because you don't trust Nebraska. It's not because you think Michigan is good.
I do think there's a big difference there.
Me too.
1.5. I
Yeah.
think it opened at 2.5 down to 1.5.
Yeah.
So there's a little Nebraska action there.
Yeah.
Over the course of the week. Yeah, I do think there's a big difference between saying, hey, Michigan's good. I think here's the problems they would lay out for Nebraska, and saying, oh, I don't think Nebraska can win this game.
Yeah.
And I think that's seemingly most of the people that have picked Michigan, at least in the fan circles, it's a distrust of Nebraska thing more than a appreciation for what Michigan does.
Tell you what, that environment should be sensational.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean,
you have CBS right around the corner. You'll have the alumni guys. You're going to have a couple special guests. Like, it is going to be electric. And it's 2:30, man. Like, that's
I think the perfect time.
I think that's the spot I like.
I agree.
So
I don't like waiting around all day.
And as a player, I think I would like to compromise.
Mm-hmm.
It's not 6:30 or 6:45 or 7 where the free world has to wait,
or 8 or 8:30,
but it does give the fans a chance to get their pregame right, a little bit. And you don't have to get up too early.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they'll be ready to rock. It should be electric.
I appreciated that Tony sort of. I wasn't sure how he was going to answer the question when I asked him if he felt
Tony,
like Veland, yesterday. If he felt like the 94 team had an impact last year. I do think that matters.
Yeah.
Right? I do think it matters. Like, I think there's a couple things. The 95 team being there, I do think matters in sort of the temperament of how the team's going to come out tomorrow or Saturday. It's not Friday yet. I also think it matters.
It feels like it, though.
It kind of does.
It kind of does.
It feels like it's been a little bit of a long week.
It kind of does.
I also think that the Bud Crawford thing matters. What has Coach Raiola been talking about this whole time with Bud? He didn't have to take this fight. He wanted to risk it all to be great. Like, I think that's a very similar attitude that he wants his team to have on Saturday, right? Where, like, this is a team that don't look at it as a boogeyman. This is an opportunity.
Yeah, and at some point, like, you got to clear one of these.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So we can move on from that narrative, too.
Absolutely.
Because at some point, I'm already kind of at that threshold.
Yeah.
Where I'm almost over it, but I get how they have to get.
You actually have to do it.
You have to get on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is annoying to even have it be out there, right? But that's why the top 25 win was on our boogeyman checklist, right? Our PTSD checklist.
And we did figure out that Colorado was not ranked.
Yes, at the time of the game, they were not ranked. They ended the season ranked, which I think is probably – I understand both ideas of it, right? You want to know what a team was in the moment they played you because sometimes seasons go awry. I also think Colorado was better than we thought they were at the beginning of last year. Like, Colorado was pretty good last year.
Yeah.
That was a good team.
Yeah, they ended up being pretty good.
And
I agree with you there.
I think that Nebraska game had more to do with Nebraska having a great game and playing up to their ability, not so much that Colorado wasn't the hype machine that they got last year.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know that Colorado was appreciably different against Nebraska than they were at the end of the year in terms of who they were as a team. I thought Nebraska just went out and beat them last year. That was a good Colorado team.
Yeah, you're looking for a couple of X factors. Nebraska's got to find a way to neutralize Michigan's tight end play.
Yeah.
Operation bailout. Those guys are good. You can't allow for too many free releases. Figure out where those guys are sitting down. It's kind of Underwood's safety blanket. And then the other thing is you got to think of it as like a falling building, like collapsing. You don't have to get Underwood to the ground, but you do want to collapse the pocket.
Yeah.
Right? You want to shrink it. And if he's gonna step anywhere, it has to be up and not out. When he steps out, he's more apt to want to get out, even though he's not like super assertive with it. But when he steps up, his eyes are up and he's still looking to throw the football. So I think those little nuances, which I know Nebraska would probably be well aware of.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, we look for every little tendency. I know they do.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, we're kind of weird.
When you say that you think he's not as assertive to scramble when he steps out, is that like
he's more assertive?
Oh, he's more assertive to
out
than he is up. Gotcha. Okay,
out.
I misunderstood.
Yeah.
So he's not one of those guys you think
when he's climbing the pocket,
he's still looking to
typically
throw.
to deliver the football.
Yeah. More like the pocket passer type that I think he wants to be.
Yeah.
He's
got a big arm.
I don't I haven't been super impressed with Michigan's receivers. Tight ends, yes.
Yeah.
Receivers, you think that's a place Nebraska can?
No, Nebraska. Now, if they want to win, that's a match. So, like, if you went through categories and you gave them scores, I think there's two places Nebraska has to win for sure.
Okay,
and they're both outside the numbers. Nebraska's receivers against Michigan's DBs, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Nebraska's DBs against Michigan wide receivers. I think they have to win.
Yeah.
Because I think there are as many questions about Michigan's offensive line as there is Nebraska's defensive line.
I would agree.
To the narrative of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think both fan bases feel the same about those respective units.
Yeah.
Could be good. Need a little time. We'll see. Not sure. Like
I haven't seen what they wanted to yet.
I feel like that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think Michigan's linebackers have a little bit of an advantage over Nebraska's linebackers, but it depends on who's playing and how they want to play it for Nebraska. On the hoof, Michigan's second level guys are pretty good.
So this might be one of those things where I saw it once or twice, and now I think it's a thing and not just a mistake. So I did want to ask you this about their linebackers specifically. It seemed like to me they struggled in coverage a couple times.
A bit.
Was that why yesterday you're like maybe it's a Harburg game?
Yeah, and some of it is eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's like pre-snap and eye candy. And I don't know how much I can take away from Oklahoma because Oklahoma was clearly the better team, but I think they're still looking for Oklahoma's tight ends. And if Mateer was a little bit more accurate,
yeah, he missed some for sure.
They're probably getting busy. So I don't know if it's what I see so far. It doesn't mean it's not correctable.
Yeah,
but it seems like a tight end kind of game for Nebraska, and they're a little undersized at the linebacking spot.
Yeah.
Osmond's not a big guy. Now he brings some thump now. He got some lead in his number 2, but
like Lindemeyer's going to be a lot bigger than their linebackers.
So there's lots of little games within the game. You know, surprisingly, so if you go back and watch Nebraska, I still feel like EJ's taking some shots he hasn't seen.
Like, I would agree.
He gets tackled with his back to the defense a ton.
Or at least like with his head turned.
At some point, like, I don't know. That's annoying. I'd like for him to be able to see defenders coming more, but how he's utilized in the pass game and stuff, like some of that's just going to happen.
Yeah.
But he takes some. He's a tough hombre.
He's taking some hits.
He gets undercut
a lot,
quite a bit.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
He's definitely taking some hits. I do wonder. That's kind of why I brought up Mosey yesterday, because I think if I don't love the way the linebackers cover,
getting him out in space. I think that's going to be a thing.
Like if I don't think the linebackers are great at covering, and you move him around a little bit, I think you can get some matchups that they're not going to love.
Like this quarterback
on
matchup,
Mosey.
It's fascinating because I don't think you. It's going to sound crazy. If Dylan's playing well, I don't think you want him spectacular. I think you want him in system.
So by spectacular, you mean like running around doing crazy stuff? Yeah.
I think you want him in system.
I would agree.
You know, because when I'm game planning, Underwood's not there yet, but he would keep me up at night more so than Dylan, even though at this particular juncture, I think Dylan is the more accomplished quarterback.
Yeah.
Just their skill sets.
Yeah, Underwood can you can do everything right, and Underwood can still beat you.
With Underwood, the play's not over until actually the whistle blows.
Yeah.
And you're probably thinking, well, duh, it'd be like that but not so much, if you understand what I'm saying. Right? The scramble where Dylan had to the side to HCU sidelines for like 5 yards. That thing could have gone. A lot of guys would take that thing 40, 50.
Yeah.
Right? One guy to beat and kind of got ran down from the inside out. But again, I think it was his 4th or 5th rushing first down, which is
what we asked for
at this particular stage in the season. That's what you need. And now they're actually showing that they'll keep it on zone read.
Yeah.
What I would really, really love to see them do. You talk about the savant. It was a heck of a compliment. I'm far from a savant, but if Nebraska's going to use offset backs, like Migos,
Quavo.
offset. I'd like frontside handoff, fake, zone read away. So it's almost like a blind read where I want the tailback read here, but tailback here, because front side keeps those play side linebackers on us. So I want the fake here. I want backside in to close for dive, and I would love for Dylan to move away from back on either RPO or QB run game. So it's very, very hard.
In that scenario, what keeps the blind side?
Nothing really keeps it. Nothing really keeps him honest, because I don't think he respects Dylan as a dual threat guy. So he kind of jacks around. I'm just watching Bellevue West QB run game.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, what would I do? This is what I like. They fold block here. Like it's the game within the game, right? How can we neutralize this quarterback and stop the RPO? So like a lot of that stuff just is birthed in
like trying to game plan.
Yeah.
What's funny is I saw
I've said this for years, and it's hard without tape. And Nebraska did it with Amir, and it popped. They were left for dead in East Lansing. Finally hit a frontside handoff with Amir as an offset back, because nothing really slows you. Anytime you see offset backs, inside linebackers are always thinking zone read. But it's so slow developing because it's right to left or left to right. It's almost never downhill. And so they have time, right? Because you need, backers to secure first and climb to second. Man, quick front side quick hitters are hard. They almost act like dive, and they're on you right now.
Yeah.
So you just need something to keep teams honest, especially teams that read guards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a lot to say. There's a couple of wrinkles I think they can come up with. I mean, you could use orbit motion with Mosey and come around from the front side handoff and just think option, right? We used to run this play called freeze where the fake comes here and we're back out this way to the left, which if you're not on video, that's terrible radio. But, we used to call it freeze option. We had 11-19 wall option where it's very similar. But if you want to keep that backside end at bay, because Michigan will game with backside pressures.
Yeah.
And you'd like to be able to keep those guys honest.
It's funny that you brought that up. I saw a video clip yesterday just on TikTok of somebody showing the blindside read on a frontside fake.
Was it college?
Yes, I can't remember who it was, but it was. What I was trying to figure out is like, how do you keep like you're talking about? How do you keep that blindside guy honest?
You know what I would do?
What's that?
I would either give me an orbit backside back as an option deal,
like to pitch it,
or I would get in a 2-by and use my number 2 receiver as my RPO guy.
So you would do it as
you would do it as I'm here,
frontside fake,
and I'm coming this way. I want
have an option.
I want an option here or here.
Okay,
that's what I would do.
So that's how you keep.
I would either run it out of doubles or give me motion.
Gotcha. Because that's how you keep the end honest. Is if he
it's the game within the game
doesn't collapse on the running back, then you still have a throw option. I like that. That was not on the clip that I saw. They didn't have. I didn't look like they had an RPO.
That's
option.
just what I would do.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad idea. I like it.
No, I know what gives us fits.
Let's draw it up. Can we send it to Coach?
No. No, he already thinks I'm crazy.
I like it.
I was asking him. I'm not even going to talk about it. You know how sometimes you think you're talking about something and you think it's pretty good, and you just want insight.
Yeah.
And the response is not exactly as detailed as your question, so it gives you the impression that
feels dismissive.
A little.
Yeah.
But I understood his point. He basically, to what I was talking about, was sure, unless you're an outside zone, you have good angles. Because I was just asking him about some things. But my question was much longer than the response, which was like,
you feel some kind of way about it?
When it's early, I know you ain't doing anything.
Like you text me back while you're walking, Coach.
Go Big Red.
Give me some detail. But anyway,
No,
there's a lot of little cool things.
Yeah.
That I would like to. I would just want to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, I don't have obviously the schematic, but the one thing I was like, I think I want to make their linebackers cover.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal, right? You want
corners to tackle.
Yeah, you want
linebackers
to
cover.
You want to set corners to tackle, and linebackers to cover.
Yeah.
Shoot, they put Donnie in, even HCU put Donnie in conflict to tackle on the perimeter.
Which Michigan does that a lot, don't they?
Listen, because of yes, they do.
Michigan makes corners tackle a lot.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. They use short side. They crack, replace. They use those condensed sets.
Yeah.
The long play. Look at what happened on the long play that Justice Haynes scored on against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Unblocked corner on the backside. Not used to being there in conflict as kind of the boundary guy.
Yeah.
And Haynes ran right by him. He's free.
Yeah. Can I
So sometimes that can get you because that's what OCs try to do now.
Yeah. They try and get guys to do the thing they're not good at. I sort of, if that's the game plan for Michigan, which I think it is.
Their schemes look a lot alike. They give you a lot of window dressing to get to what they like to do.
I kind of like that for Nebraska. Like I think Donovan Jones and Andrew Marshall in particular are good tacklers.
Yeah.
Like I think if that's the game plan, that's not a terrible look for Nebraska.
Yeah, the thing about it is they got to be able to hold up at the point of attack.
Sure.
They do. Like, we work it all the time. Where sometimes the way that we like to play it, we'll actually have our corners play against getting, like, I call it like out. Like if it's tackle tight end and there's no true number one, and he's over a tight end, first of all, get to where you can see. But if that tight end gets to you now, like if he comes now, like we work on how to play that.
Yeah.
You're typically giving up some girth.
Sure.
And the cavalry's got to come running. But you see that a lot now where the long play that Emma scored on. I mean, that second run, they were going to make that corner make the play.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he didn't make the play.
Right.
So you see it a lot now. You have got to be able to get guys to the ground.
A lot of that, though, is like being willing to take on the point of attack. A lot of that's just willingness, right?
Yeah, and I think it's trust. If I'm a contained guy and don't play peekaboo inside, and there's a lot.
Trust that the other guys are going to be where they need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We walk through a couple of those fits with Deshaun fitting off McCullough. Deshaun Singleton fitting off Deson McCullough.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, you can play peekaboo, but if the second level guy goes first and he declares, let your third level guy make him right. I mean, not to keep making it about our own practices, but we're very specific in our Skelly this week, right? Because of their RPO game and getting out with quick game with 2s and 3s. Like we run, like you got to run.
Yeah.
And you need to declare. Well,
that's the wrong fast.
I don't want our
thing,
safeties guessing, right?
Yeah.
If 2 bubbles or 3 comes down, we're smoking.
Yeah.
Right. So, we just have to see it over and over and over again.
So those second level guys have to be super decisive.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't dink around. And you'll hear me say it 1,000 times during a game. Can't play peekaboo.
Yeah.
Right. Don't be the guy that's super sticky and you're here or you're here because you're
looking ahead.
We read
where
heads.
Your head is at. Right?
We read heads.
So if your head's on the outside, but then
we're playing inside.
But then you're playing peekaboo and you try to go back inside.
Then we're going to have 2 guys in the same.
2 guys in one spot, and that's where it looks like, the secondary player fit wrong
or took a bad angle. That's my favorite, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, he took a bad angle. I'm like, I don't know, man. Look at the guy setting the edge in front.
Yeah.
See where his head was.
I was watching this the other day, I was watching. I think it was Oklahoma. It was one of the Michigan games. I can't remember if it was Oklahoma or Central Michigan, which are very different games. I understand. Not similar.
Did you see Corver Dema starts for Central Michigan?
Yeah. Good for him, man.
Go ahead. I liked him as well.
And there was I was trying to figure out because there was I remember it was number 12. I think I messaged you about it, but it was like Twitter because I couldn't find it on my text.
Was it just me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And There was a guy. There was number 12. He was I believe he was a linebacker. He might have been a safety, and I couldn't tell if he was supposed to box and did it poorly, or if he was trying.
You're interested in boxing spilling.
I love
now,
it.
Aren't you?
I love it. Yeah,
it definitely matters.
and I was trying to figure out if he spilled correctly and the pursuit wasn't there. And so, like, if I'm watching as somebody who's learning this,
was it the IG reel?
Yes. Oh yeah, it might have been Instagram.
Oh, I told you that back's got to get out around that. He was playing a puller?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he got smoked. That's a good one. That's actually a good one. What's your question?
My question is, did 12 do it right and his pursuit let him down, or was he supposed to box and didn't get outside far enough?
So this is it the one with Bigsby?
Oh, no.
Okay.
That's a different one. I think it is on Twitter. I think it's on a Twitter DM. It was definitely from a Michigan game that I was watching on the when I was trying to figure out how much Nebraska is going to beat Michigan by. And that was a little tongue-in-cheek, DB.
No, okay. I'm with you. I'm looking for it because I like stuff like that.
But I was I'm trying to figure out, in generally speaking, how do I tell when a guy's supposed to be boxing versus when he's trying to spill?
So, general rule of thumb: if I'm a displaced defender, if I'm, you know what I mean when I say displaced, if I'm away from the line of scrimmage,
okay,
right?
Yeah,
I'm 90% of the time I'm probably boxing.
Okay, because you want them to come back to where the defenders are.
Correct.
Okay.
If I'm in line, or closer to the ball, I'm probably more apt to spill.
So this is like an inside linebacker versus like a safety.
Although you can box for inside linebackers within your front seven.
Sure, but that's like tackle to tackle still probably.
Correct.
But you're in that instance you'd be boxing in like an inside.
We've had to make
run.
Plenty of in-game adjustments against creative run teams where we'll now all of a sudden say, "Hey, insides, instead of being a C-gap run fitter, we can't get there. We're going to box it for you now." Teams that run quick, or veer, or I'm not going to give away the secret sauce, but sometimes you have to box it for your insides because it's just on you too quick.
This is what you do against Miller North, right?
Teams
old Miller North
teams that can run the ball with one back in between the tackles, we have to defend much differently.
Gotcha.
Most teams that get in one back
want to run outside
are off tackle or outside zone teams.
Yeah.
If you're pretty good with your QB run game and inside zone, we have to play it different. But I mean, we've seen it enough now where we know what
you want to do.
We know what we want to do.
Yeah, but it does have to be different.
It presents different. You have to play it a different way.
Yeah, so I think it was.
You have to be able to play it a different way.
I believe it was on a long run from. It was either Justice Haynes. I think it was Justice. It was on a long run from Justice.
When
Haynes.
he gets one, doesn't he?
Yeah.
His vision is pretty good.
He's very boomer bust.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of the offensive line.
So I get it. He's extreme because he's almost at 4 bills, right?
Yeah, I think 51% of his yards are on 3 runs though.
Yeah. Well, he's got 2 70+ yard runs.
Yeah. And so like I get that that's still dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's you've got this huge explosive.
He's got pretty good balance.
Yeah. I do think if you can play pretty sound and keep those 70 yards, like if you can keep his big runs to like under 20 yards,
you want a super game within the game. If you're playing Michigan, how much do you put Nebraska's front on the move?
I mean, that's a really good question.
It doesn't seem like I would do it.
You wouldn't want to do it. I don't think you'd want to do it a ton
because you
get caught,
and they play angles, right? Easy down blocks, easy kickouts. Like you don't want to give good angles. That's why people playing what I call 4s. Very hard to do, but you do eliminate some angles. Now, the guys that are playing in 4s are like, "Oh my God, man, this tackle can come right down on me," but it frees you up. And we'll talk to Michael Rose-Ivey about.
That's what you were talking about yesterday. We were talking about playing zeros, which is like head up on the nose guard or head up on the center.
We're going to talk a ton about playing in some tight, what I would call tight fronts.
And then 4s is your head up on the tackles, right?
Which is how this is the little miniature games within the games on how you really want to stop the run with your front. Because Nebraska doesn't. I mean, a lot of times you think under front, you're going to line up in a 1, a 3, a 5, and a 7, or generally speaking, you may call it a shade. Nebraska has been. I mean, they'll play in some twos now.
Mhm.
You know, 2 eyes over the guards to take away angles. Like they're moving a little bit away from how they want to situate their front.
So let me ask you a question about that, because I do find this really fascinating. So if you're facing a team that's going to do a lot of down blocks, right? Which Michigan does, correct?
Down kick, yeah.
Yeah. So if they're trying to come at angles at you on the
pullers or
defensive
no
line,
pullers?
let's say they do pull a lot, but say no pullers for now.
Okay, so I'm not as worried about covering guards, but sure.
So if you're, let's say if you're doing a 0 and 4s, right? So head up on the center, head up on the tackle.
If I want to alleviate downs, I'm probably closer to playing head ups. But you will have to probably take on doubles.
So here's my question. That leads to a lot of doubles, right? If they're down blocking on 0s and 4s.
they'll have to get to second level.
So that was my question. Does that leave better gaps for your second level to shoot that?
If you can occupy doubles.
Okay.
If you can occupy doubles. But you're right though. That's crafty, and that's the cool thing about lining up in different fronts and how to stop the run, right? Because we have to change. We're playing a particular team that's got pretty good size, right, up front. And sometimes in some of their schemes, they create some pretty good natural angles. Well, we want to alleviate that. So there'll be times we change the way that we line up.
Right.
Right? So
yeah.
We do that all the time. I mean, that's just football.
So, like, if you're sitting there and you go, hey, those down blocks are really getting our defensive line.
If they know our ends are B gap players, why wouldn't they just come down on this guy? So we have to know that.
You're right.
We have to know that. They're like, oh, well, they're just going to fold. Like that tackle's going to come down, guard's going to come around. This is how we want to play it. And the quicker we see that, like that's why, we get paid the big bucks, right? I'm going to say right now to Jensen, hey, was that fold or did they come get us? And then I know, right? Then I'm going to say to Coach Queen, hey, listen. And Coach Queen will probably see it too. He's like, hey, those are double folds. We got to do that. You know what I mean? And so then we know what to do. Those are the kinds of things we say to each other, right? Or, hey, he's getting off clean. We want to go over, under. Do we want a weak side 6? Like it's just how it goes, right? Do we need to protect our insides? We're big. Where did that hit? Because we know where we're supposed to be, right? So, I mean, we're immediately looking at that iPad, and I'm going to say, hey, listen, is that backside C gap? Right? Because I know who's supposed to be there.
Right.
Right? Hey, did that get outside of our fit? Or just however we talk. Like you just have to coach it in such a way where you can change it pretty quick. So it's what we're usually better in the second half than the first half.
Sure.
But sometimes, occasionally you're too far down.
Let me ask, so you mentioned pullers, which Michigan does do a lot also.
Yeah. I think Nebraska will try to cover up.
So how does that change with pullers?
So I think when you cover up guards, you're not as apt to leave them, right? Because discipline, they're just going to get flat. The minute they see that V in the neck go away, they're down. And if you have insides that play pullers, they're going to be on the move too, which is why Michigan does so much counter. They're a very good counter team.
Yeah, you'd love that, especially a couple years ago when they were running with like Corum.
Oh,
you loved their counter.
It was incredible to watch from my vantage point.
Super simple, but unbelievably
well. It was so efficient.
Yeah, unbelievably
and they were so patient. And you would wake up, and it was 2nd and 3, and you're like, how?
You're like, that was a pretty simple.
Yeah, it looked just like this play, and it looked just like this play.
Like, that's 6, that's 7.
Yeah. They were. Oh yeah, it was fascinating.
Yeah,
to watch their scheme 2 years ago in Lincoln.
That's part of the reason. I think there's a part. I think some people think that's
I wonder
still
what happened
Michigan.
to Mike Hart. Like, where did he end up? Because he left after that year.
He did leave. I don't remember where he ended up.
Man,
I don't remember why he left.
They were so good at that.
Yeah.
It was maddening.
Yeah.
You could fit that thing
perfectly, and you're like, hey, we still.
If you didn't win,
you
still
had to win your one-on-one.
It's
right?
2nd and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had to win. It had to be a havoc play.
We'll talk more about all this stuff with Michael Rose-Ivey coming up at 8:00. He did a deep dive into Michigan's running game over on his Twitter account that I was pouring through last night as I was trying to continue to prep for Michigan here. Really fascinating stuff. Was doing a lot of QB run game, both designed and scramble. Was doing a lot of the Justice Haynes stuff as well. So we'll talk to Michael Rose-Ivey, former Husker, coming up at 8 o'clock.
No problem at all. Go Big Red.
No problem at all.
That's our guy. We will also talk to our Thursday regulars. I guess Michael Rose-Ivey is a regular at this point. But Brian Edwards from Major Wager will be joining us at 8:45. Michael Bruntz at 9. And then we'll get the preview from the Michigan side at 9:45 with Anthony Broome from the Wolverine.com. That's the lineup for today. Let's take a little break.
Weird. It's only 7:40.
Catch a little. Well, it was very football-y in that first segment.
Yeah, it's a little more football-y than I wanted it to
I
be.
apologize. I had
That's
questions.
fine.
I know you've got answers.
Sometimes.
Inquiring minds want to know. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We will be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
He told me. He's seen it a lot more than I have.
Yeah.
Shoot, I look back at the last 2 weeks and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. Game 1 at Cincinnati was incredible. With our fan base. And, then the night game was something that I hadn't experienced here. And then you turn around, you go, oh, it's going to look like at 11 o'clock. I've been in that situation to where it's been great. And then 11 a.m. it's hot. And it's kind of, you know what I mean? And that didn't exist here last week. So I don't know what to expect other than greatness, and I know he's looking forward to it. I know I am. I know Coach Rule is. This is a big game because all of them are big, and so we know who the opponent is, and it's our job to know everything about them, man. What they're doing defensively, who they are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what their plan of attack is, and then on Saturday, thinking that we know what they're going to do and having to adjust what they are doing. It's just part of our job.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla, reminding you, if you're out in your car this morning, make sure you get that seatbelt fastened, like DB likes to do. Make it click. This prevents injuries and saves lives. This message brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Lots of people with Michigan opinions, DB. Lots of people.
Les came in and shook the week up.
I think I'm on an island here.
Why?
I see this game going differently than I think everyone.
Yeah, I think this is nip tuck.
That's
not the old bad television show.
Yeah, I never watched that one.
It
seems kind of up your alley.
No.
Are there? I thought there's no murderers in that one.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, it was like a super grown up adult soap opera to
gotcha.
10th power.
Gotcha.
Always some drama and surgeons and I don't know. My brother liked that show. I didn't really rock with it.
You do like the first Dexter though, right?
Yeah, Dexter was nice.
That's your jam.
Dexter.
That's the one where he kills bad guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dexter jumped the shark though a little bit.
Yeah, I heard like the reboots and stuff were a little.
Shoot, even after this first 2 series of the regular Dexter, I was like,
kind of over it.
Yeah.
If
you're seeing big win.
Listen, I mean, I think there's a version of this where Nebraska, especially, I don't know. I keep coming to this idea that, and I said it yesterday to Kyle, and when I say that I think Dylan's going to dice him up, I don't necessarily mean he's going to throw for 400 yards.
I saw that made the rounds, right? Like all of a sudden, Michigan fan was mad at you.
Well, one of the Michigan fans told on me to Wink Martindale. He tagged him on Twitter.
Oh.
So if there's bulletin board material, sorry guys, it's my fault. But I don't necessarily mean he's going to throw for.
Wink is going to see me out there chilling and be like, "Hey, you that guy that was running his mouth?" I'll be like, "Nah, man, that was my partner.
Yeah, that was my boy.
I respect Wolverines."
Listen, I respect him. I just think that what they want to do defensively.
I could get you off the hook. I'd be like, "Hey, man, my son's middle name is after a Wolverine. We good?
We're cool. Wolverine! Listen, I was a big Tim Biakabatuka guy as well.
Yeah, it was good to me.
I was a big fan of his.
Took me shopping.
I liked Tim Biakabatuka.
First taught me what my options were outside of AV cords.
See,
do you even know what those are?
Yeah,
anymore?
Those are the red, white, and yellow ones.
Yeah.
Dude, I was part of the AV cord generation. I had a DVD player and a VHS just like you.
Okay.
I'm not that young. I'm not the rest of our staff. Yes, but the rest.
Yeah, Timmy showed me options. We stayed at Best Buy.
I mean, HDMI.
They had a nice one in Charlotte too.
HDMI cord was like the new thing.
Yeah, he was really good with his money too.
Yeah.
I was a big Biak guy.
I like Tim Biak.
I see him go Biak.
Don't matter to me.
He walked on his toes. He was kind of high cut. His butt was like on his back. I mean, he just commanded presence. He was coming off the ACL injury too.
Yeah. I like Tim Biakabatuka a lot.
He was a good dude.
I was a big fan. No, so
who we should have talked to this week, the resident Michigan homer. We should have talked to Brandon Williams, Shane, former Michigan alum.
Let's see if we can
from Omaha Central.
Let's see if we can track down Biak. See if we can get him on the phone.
Fudge, wouldn't that be something?
That'd be incredible.
So let me tell you what Lance is thinking. Lance says, "I think Michigan wins."
Is Balk Dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like how we're going to his nickname.
Well, we got multiple Lances.
Yeah, no, I like it.
You know,
I'll rock with Balk Dog. He says, "I don't think." I think Michigan wins. I don't think Michigan O-line is near what it was. My concerns with Michigan on offense is, can we cover them? I just believe Haynes is the human eraser. Can Singleton take good angles and not miss tackles? I like 60% of our D-line. I just wish we were better at blank's position spot on the D-line. Except he said the name.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan's offense doesn't scare me much at all. My concern is with Nebraska's offense. Can we protect Dylan? Red zone offense, can we please just score touchdowns? 1st to 20 probably wins this game. I kind of agree with the 1st to 20. This has a 24-20, 24-23 written all over it. I mean, right there, 24-23. But the key is Nebraska has shown they can really move the ball on just about anybody from the 30 to the 30.
To like the 5, to be fair.
I'm going back to last year.
Sure. Oh yeah, last year. This year it's like
they were going to cross the 40.
Yeah.
It's just they didn't generate enough points, right? They have a really poor finishing drive rate.
Mm-hmm.
So I would assume that will continue.
That they'll be able to at least move the ball.
Can they score points is the thing.
So my thing is, with the way Michigan likes to play defense, with the amount of pressure they like to bring, with the amount of guys they like to play super close to the line of scrimmage, which is part of the reason I think their linebackers have a hard time covering, by the way. Because I think they are forced to start off in some spots that are not ideal. That's just me.
They put them on upset alert.
I think they should be on upset alert.
It's only 1.5.
But
this is the 3rd time. Which team should be on upset alert this week?
It's the ranked.
What's his buckets from? It's Texas, right?
No, that's McElroy, I thought.
Is he Alabama?
Yeah.
Why does he look like he's like 70 now?
He's aged poorly.
gives me some Richie Cunningham vibes.
But I just don't think
it's Greg McElroy. I can't even see.
I think you're going to have a really hard time. I think they're going to have a really hard time with the fact that Dillon's going to make a lot of really good decisions at the line of scrimmage in terms of what to get Nebraska.
That is quietly the game within the game.
Like that's when I say that I think Dillon's going to dice him up. I don't know if it's going to look at 350, 400 yards. What I think it's going to look like is he's going to get Nebraska in the right play.
I just hope
so
the run
often.
game looks different. I can't see zone. I can't see inside zone working without the QB run game element.
Yeah,
because you're going to have to move those guys up front.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but Nebraska's pet play, which is duo, they have shown a couple of wrinkles on how to get there. So I don't know. I'm just praying that Nebraska's in way more pistol looks than offset.
Yeah. So yeah, and if that goes the way I think it will with Dillon and the offense, I think we're going to get a little bit more points than a 24-20, 24-23 situation.
So I'm not good with totals.
Yeah,
but I do think Vegas is
46,
and it opened at 44.5.
Okay,
it's now currently sitting at 46.5. So people liked the over.
Yeah, they're hitting the over,
but it's still not a ton.
No, you're still looking at 24-21, basically, in that neighborhood. Which it's possible.
Yeah, I think.
Could I convince you of we're still kind of within the total here. Now we're way outside the spread. But could I convince you of like a 28-17? That's 45. We're still right in the neighborhood there.
What does it look like?
For Nebraska, I'm talking about Nebraska 28-17.
Is it like they're comfortably ahead and Michigan gets something late, Nebraska gets one late?
I think it could be at like a 21-17 and Nebraska's got the ball, and instead of giving the ball back, they finish it.
If Nebraska scores 28 points, I will be thoroughly impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to scoff at them being able to hold. I'm telling you, in this game against Michigan, scheme will be overrated. It will be tackling.
Yeah.
It's going to be tackling.
Yeah.
So if Nebraska gets guys to the ground, or if Haynes and the rest of this backfield has a lot of yards after contact, but I don't worry about can Nebraska schematically hang in there. Like, that's not everybody's. I don't know if there's like bad film circulating around, but it's like, oh, Nebraska's small D line and this, that. That's not the game.
Yeah,
it's not the game.
I also
Nebraska. It is tackling. It is getting those guys to the ground.
Not for nothing, I do think John Butler, as an NFL guy, is going to throw some stuff at Bryce Underwood that makes him look pretty.
Well, the pre-snap stuff is huge.
Yeah,
it's huge for both quarterbacks, right?
Yeah,
the same way you think Dillon can manipulate Nebraska's offense with Michigan's defense. What is the pre-snap look going to look like for BU? Because I think Michigan obviously wants to run the ball. They're going to take their shots off run action. Now, Bryce is a cool customer, though.
Sure.
And he has been to Norman.
He's also misread some things.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. So are we operating under the guys that he can't get better each game?
No.
Because right now he is.
Yeah.
He's gotten better every game.
I'm talking about Central Michigan, though. Like, there were some throws against Central Michigan.
Yeah.
First,
you're talking about just accuracy?
Well, I think decision-making, too. Like, their first play of the game, he throws into double coverage. It should have been picked.
Yeah.
Right? Then there's a play later on one of his touchdowns where
got away.
Coverage should have been there, but the corner fell down, so the cover 3 wasn't there in that corner.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he saw that look again, he assumed that guy was going to be open. That's when he threw the pick. So, like, I don't know that. Like, I think sometimes when he sees something, he thinks it's always going to be that way. And I think that's dangerous against a guy like Butler.
Yeah. Butler did. I liked his, I'm a big tone guy.
Mm-hmm.
I liked his delivery.
He seemed confident.
I did like his delivery. Key is, though, this is going to sound so stupid because, Bryce is Bryce.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Nebraska, I stop the run game, and then I immediately find Michigan's tight ends.
Yeah.
Then I'll get to B. even though I think Underwood has potential to be more of a game wrecker than, like, let's say Dylan.
I mean, this might be
right. Is that a hot take?
I think it's more likely that Dylan wins this game being really good in the offense. I think it's more likely that Bryce Underwood wins this game being dynamic.
You think Underwood has more margin for error, though?
I think Dylan has to be really good for Nebraska to win. Yes.
I could see. Yeah.
Like, Underwood can make some mistakes and make up for it either with his dynamic play, or Michigan can make up for it with, like, a Justice Haynes 70-yard run or something like that. So, I think I probably wouldn't have said it that way, but yes, I think he's got more margin for error.
I think he does too.
I think that's
how I was.
No, that's fair. That's a fair, like, it's an accurate way to put it. That's just not how I was thinking about it. Coming up next, we're going to talk to our guy, Michael Rose-Ivey. We'll continue getting into a little Michigan and Nebraska talk. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
He told me. I mean, he's seen it a lot more than I have.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, dude, I look back at the last 2 weeks and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. You know, so I mean, game one at Cincinnati was incredible. You know, with our fan base. And, you know, then the night game was something that I hadn't experienced here. And then you turn around, you go, oh, it's going to look like at 11 o'clock. I've been in that situation to where it's been great. It's been great. And then 11 a.m. it's hot. And it's kind of, you know what I mean? And that didn't exist here last week. So, you know, I don't know what to expect other than greatness, you know, and I know he's looking forward to it. I know I am. You know, I know, you know, Coach Rule is. I mean, this is a big game because, you know, all of them are big, you know, and so we know who the opponent is, and it's our job to know everything about them, man. You know, what they're doing defensively, who they are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what their plan of attack is. And then, you know, on Saturday, you know, thinking that we know what they're going to do and having to adjust what they are doing. That's just part of our job.
I have not watched a ton of the match back yesterday. I watched a little bit of the fourth set, like from my house last night, just to see what it looked like on TV and what the crowd looked like and that kind of thing. And so I would say my biggest takeaway is that we played in front of a great crowd and a lot of joy and all of that. Just live, I felt like we let some tips fall in that fifth set that we don't normally do. Those are the ones that I think as a team we want back. I mean, the biggest thing that we always talk about, like, we pick up the junk. We don't let that kind of thing score. So I thought we had some moments in that fifth set to save some points and score in transition that we just didn't do. But I really liked the swings that we were taking on match. Our big priority was to slow down their outsides, and I think they both hit in the hundreds. Jaya, I just think doesn't get enough love for what she does as a blocker. We've put her on every opponent we faced this year's top outside, and she's shut pretty much every one of them down. So she's a phenomenal blocker, and we're just really lucky that she's on our right side.
That's bbbsmidlands.org.
That's right.
That's
Yep.
bbbsmidlands.org. And it's right at the top of the page there. I'm looking at it right now. You can click to register for the For Potential 2025. Before we let you go here, anything else we should know?
I don't think so. I think that's about it. We're just we're really excited for this event and just feel very honored that Hurrdat is partnering with us as our media sponsor. So thank you guys so much for having me on, and thanks for all the support of our of our organization and our programs.
Last question for me,
Sure.
because I know somebody's going to ask whenever we have fundraisers and stuff like that. People like to know, like, hey, how is this helping? Like, how does this help your organization?
Sure. Oh my gosh. Yes. Great question. So all of the money that we raise through this event and all of our fundraising events goes directly to our programs. That helps us with all of our community-based mentorship.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
I told them to hold on to that. I told them to, not everyone can do that. And I think it's what makes people special. It's what makes Dane special. It's what makes the guys on our team that embrace that special is have high standards for yourself. Sometimes it's good that people can see behind the scenes. I've had a lot of people say to me like, "Hi, coach, I didn't know you get that fired up and all that." Well, yeah, we do. We just don't put it always out there. I've challenged our content guys. I'm like, if you don't have everything I say, we don't have to put out there. Like, and I'm glad that people have a chance to see Dane and see the amazing leadership that we have, because we have great football players and they're even better people and great teammates.
Welcome back. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Michael Rose-Ivey, former Husker, current high school coach. Michael, how are we doing this morning?
Doing good, man. How you guys doing?
Hey, I don't know. MR, I'm trying to, the more I'm watching this, and this is not sphincter puckering syndrome, so don't you get at me. I'm closer to the conclusion from Oklahoma, who I thought was really good, to Central Michigan, who I don't think was very good at all. I still think, in the same way I look at Nebraska's upward ascent, Michigan, I think, is better than – it feels like they're better than we're talking about. Agree or disagree? Or do you feel like they're given enough respect?
No, I think they're getting better. I think the biggest thing you've seen, obviously, the biggest thing that jumps out on the screen is Underwood. Like the passing numbers looked a lot better in the box score. You saw the uptick in carries in the box score. You saw the yardage, the touchdown, right? So they're obviously getting better, offensively. I think they've figured out, and I think we exchanged the message we talked about. Is like the one thing I'm worried about, they start running them, beginning with Central Michigan going into Nebraska, And even, the interim head coach even said it, in a quote that, hey, he has freedom to run, whatever. So I think they're kind of understanding, hey, there may be some pro-style stuff we want to do that he may not be able to conceptualize as far as the progressions. So let's do what's going to help us better.
They block up front.
Yeah, or they can block up front, right? They had some injuries on the inside the guard. They lost a very good offensive tackle early in the preseason. So I think it wasn't only him getting comfortable, it was that offensive line getting comfortable too. And then the staff figuring out, okay, what can they do? What can they execute at a high level and consistently? And I think you've seen it with the bootlegs. You saw even more quick passing game, which I think would be something that would be really good to get those tight ends involved underneath linebackers. So you're seeing not only the progression of the players, right, but you're also seeing the staff understanding, hey, this is what we got this year. And we're going to create a great game plan for them week in, week out. And I think Michigan's kind of finding their groove with that play calling and just the concept they're using consistently to give Underwood 1 to 2 reads, cut the field in half. But now also add in the element of his legs. That's where they become a little bit more dynamic.
Michael, what do you think Nebraska is capable or has shown you defensively that could give Michigan trouble?
I think, and I listened to the first half of it, and I think we're dead on with dang near everything you guys have said so far. Like DB said, I'm not worried schematically if Nebraska has it in their bag to do what I think I've seen that Oklahoma did, obviously at a very high level with very elite players. What I saw in glimpses of New Mexico, that New Mexico game was tough. It wasn't a straight, hey, we knocked them out, right? Just like Nebraska's game, first
Yeah,
game wasn't a straight.
it was grimy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a little grimy, right? And I thought they did some really, really good things to put on film for Oklahoma to take advantage of and use as far as with the stunts and the movements and things like that. So I'm not worried about them schematically. Like you said, DB, Dewey got the Jimmies and Joes, right? There's going to be able to hold up, go and stunt through gaps, get those type of movements consistently while creating penetration. And then getting guys to the ground, like you said, that's like the biggest thing is like, can we tackle? Can we get guys on the floor? And from all three levels, right? The two vowels and one consonant, right? The yak, yards after contact, that's going to be the biggest stat probably you're going to look at in the game.
I agree.
You know, so I think that's going to be important. They got to get hats to the ball, but again, I think it's gonna be it's gonna be a, like DB said. I think it's gonna be a very, very close ball game. Big 10, 230 slugfest. Right, first one to 20 probably is gonna do it. It's gonna take a big drive at the end. It's gonna be close. So I think they're prepared for it schematically. But again, those Jimmys and Joes got to be able to hold up and be disciplined in their assignments, but also be aggressive as heck. I mean, that's what I saw from the little tape I put out. Just kind of what do you guys think that Nebraska has to do? A lot of movement up front, but their second and third level players in those clips are flying into their fit, right? They're getting down into the gaps, right? And that's the only way you can get guys off those doubles, right?
They buzz hump, man, on that second level.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that has to be something, we've seen in spurts from Nebraska, but it's really about seeing that consistently and seeing that down out.
Let me ask you something about if you're going against this offensive line against Michigan. Nebraska's kind of shown they want to play not a different way, but they've shown they want to play a certain way in terms of movement, right? Putting guys on the move. When you watch how Michigan moves, how apt would you be to continue with that philosophy versus playing it a little more straight up?
Continue the philosophy. I think that
putting them on the move
because I think it's been what they've been doing already. It's something that I think has given, especially like you talk about the interior having the injuries at guard, doing some flip flop there. That interior movements, stunning the nose and tackles, those type of things. Talk about how great Deshaun is, crashing across the face of tight ends and tackles. Again, that's the recipe. That's what I've seen, right? And I look at it like the analogy of, right, obviously, internet's very vast and wide. We can go find any recipe in the world we want from a 5-star restaurant, right? But do we have the means to fully prepare it, right? And I think the recipe is there for what gives the Michigan offensive line some problems and frustrates them. It's can we replicate it, right?
Yeah.
Can we replicate not the bodies, but the success, the results, the 1 to 2 yard gains on first down, getting them in second and 8, knowing they're probably gonna go bootleg or probably gonna do something to get them out the pocket. And now we can dictate with our pressure, hey, we want Underwood to go here, or we want him to stay there. And I think that's, again, Ravi said it too. I mean, a lot of credit. I got some Michigan guys on Twitter that talk about how great Venables was, and we can't duplicate that coaching. But again, he's got 10 years in the NFL. Like he's seen some ball. Like, you know what I mean? So we gotta also understand that he's a guy that understands defense. He understands how offenses want to attack his defense. And like you said, I loved his demeanor in the press conference. When asked about
quietly, right? Like, can you feel he knows?
He knows. Oh, yeah, he knows. I mean, even how he answered the question about, Underwood running more. He said, yeah, he had 2 designed runs and 6 of them were scrambles. And you know what I mean? It's like, okay, we've prepared for this, and you talk about how big that staff is. You can't tell me eyes haven't been on this game for the past 2 weeks, right? Some GA's been in the basement, right, with the hanging light swinging, right, digging into every single thing he can find. Like, I mean, I feel like there's a psychological confidence that I haven't felt in a big game like this since going back to Colorado. But like you said, DB, that was different. I think we knew we were better, right? And I think this time, obviously, it's Michigan, right? We're not playing the brand, but it's Michigan, right? It's a different mindset of ball, different way they do, just a different mentality than, the finesse we see in a lot of teams. So you got to give them that respect. But it tells you a lot with that point spread is 1.5, DB. It tells you a lot. It tells you a lot. There's some confidence. There's some confidence outside of that building, right, in Memorial Stadium that's saying, hey, I think Nebraska has a chance at least to keep this close and have a fighter's chance at the end to win this ball game.
Let me ask you something about schematics, right? You talked about boot and getting him on the edge where he's got a couple of different options. By he, I mean Underwood.
Right.
One of the sneaky things, and I get it, man, Wink's got a ton of NFL experience, right? And Dylan is going to be a Sunday quarterback. But from a pressure guy like Wink and a stationary target like Dylan, I'm not sure that's as advantageous as a guy like Butler who coached opposite the locker room from Josh Allen,
right?
Who wasn't afraid to lead the Bills in rushing at early in his career, right? So I think schematically from pressures and not letting quarterbacks do the dictating on, I just feel like that's a lot where that Rolodex and that vault comes from, right?
Man,
I mean,
yeah.
he's had to defend Mahomes. Like I just think
Lamar Jackson. We're not even talking about Lamar.
Yeah, and I'm not comparing Underwood to Mahomes like across the board, but what I'm saying, quarterbacks that are very good off script, which is what Underwood's shown. He wasn't bad off script, right? So I just think he has a lot of that in his teaching bag.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you said, I mean, you know how fall camp is and training camp is. I mean, it's us versus us, right? So if I'm going against Josh Allen, we got some different type of, flush type packages. We're gonna push you to the left because you don't like to roll to the left and throw. You're a little bit less accurate, right? We got some things that can, so as far as spies and other stunts that we can use with just 4 guys to keep you contained in the pocket. So like you said, he has a deep Rolodex, and I think again, he hasn't fully proven himself to be a national name as far as a defense coordinator at the college level just yet. But I mean, he has the experience. You can't just look past that. Just like Wink has that experience at the NFL. Like I think you look at these guys and that's a different level of preparation. I mean, that's all ball, no recruiting. You know what I mean? Front office handles that, right? I just coach who's in my room. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's one thing that's one of my favorite things about this matchup too, is going to be that chess match between those two guys, and just how they're going at each other, how they're making their adjustments and things like that. But that's again, it's a lot of game within the game type of things within this one, which makes it going to be a great game.
What do you think about? I apologize.
No, you're
sorry. What do you think about how Nebraska lines up defensively? We talked about that tight front, and this was early. I'm a shoot, man. I might be all the way going back to Sunday or Monday talking to you, MRI. But how do you think Nebraska lines up defensively with some of these fronts that we're now seeing? And walk us through where guys line up when we're talking about tight fronts as it relates to some of the things schematically that Oklahoma did.
Yeah, Oklahoma did. They was in a lot of that tight front. Just putting guys right in the B gap, right? So you got those guys playing right inside eye of that tackle, right? Playing the tackle but kind of filling the guard, right? So the thing about that, I mean, you have to have some skilled guys there. You have those guys that can hold a point because you're almost essentially two gapping from an inside shade, right? When you're doing
and you're giving up your angles too.
Yeah, you get up your angles, and for a team like Michigan, power, duo, counter, all angle blocks, right? I don't need much vertical push. I need you down the line, right? I think with Nebraska, they've shown a little bit of that. I saw it more versus I think last week and maybe some versus Cincinnati than we did this previous week. But still, I think it's something that's in their package or something they'll need to use. The biggest thing is it declares those fits. Right now, we can expand if we need to, right? We get those motions and things like that, right? We can play our Mike backer in that C gap, backside Will in the A gap, and still be protected. Because again, when you're working off those counters and duos, right, they're downhill plays, but eventually the C gap gets to where the A gap started. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
they move.
Yep.
So Exactly, right? So if you can have leverage in that gap, so when it goes down, instead of me having to get over the top, and I'm already in position to just strike downhill and be aggressive. That's what you saw from Oklahoma. And what I did see in the Oklahoma film, they did use some three safety rotation with their run fits and stuff like that, and getting those guys down there. So I think it's gonna be something you'll see. I think Nebraska's gonna move in and out of a 3-4 man front, run some plug pressures, bring in five, right? I really have to think the confidence of the secondary, and especially two guys on the outside. And I mean, I think Michigan's Michigan. They have some good talent at receiver, but I don't think it's overwhelming. I think their biggest matchup problem for us is going to be those two tight ends.
Yeah,
They made some freakish catches. They made some consistent catches, especially if they get the run game going, play action over the middle. You guys talked about that earlier. But I think on the outside, I think they feel confident that, hey, if it got to the point where we got to play 7-8 and just man it up, and when my fit is my fit, I think they feel confident that they can at least protect themselves on the outside. And if it takes us having to be that aggressive, we can live with those guys being on the island. So I think that's the confidence that Butler has as well, and hopefully that we get those guys in those second and long situations so we can really confuse that offensive line. They've given up quite a few pressures in all three games. And even not giving up pressures, there's some links there that I think is that we can take advantage if we put the right guys in the right situations. And biggest thing is keeping Underwood in the pocket.
So, Michael, I'm curious on the other side of things with what Michigan likes to do defensively and what we know or what we think we know about Dylan Raiola. Obviously, the mobile component that we're talking about with Underwood isn't going to be nearly the same factor. But if you're a defensive guy and you're trying to figure out what to do with a quarterback that has a super high processing level, both pre and post snap, what do you do if you're Michigan?
I think they have to believe that they can be able to win some one-on-ones up on at the O line, versus our O line. I think they're going to be confident with that just coming in naturally, which lends you to be able to have 7 in coverage. Right now, you got 3/2, 4/3, right? However you want to do it. So you have more guys that's in coverage, right? So I think that's kind of the difference between Nebraska's defense and Michigan's defense going into it. That I feel like they feel a little more confident they can get pressure with 4. And so they can lend themselves to play back in coverage. Really the philosophy a lot of defense are going to, hey, we're gonna stop the pass and then stop the run. Meaning our pass coverage fits are going to take us to our run fits instead of us thinking heavy in our run
stop
fits
the run
and the other way
routine for the
around.
quarterback.
Yeah, yep, the old school mentality. You know what I mean? So you I mean, it's a numbers thing, and you think less is more, right? The less you can fit in the run and stop the run, the better defense you are. If you have to obviously bring more bodies into it, then you lose those guys on pass coverage. But I think as far as with Dylan, I think obviously there's two ways you beat blitzes and beat coverage or beat pressure, right? Either with hot reads or with your feet. Dylan can do the latter a little bit. And I think you talk about that processing. I think that's where him and Dana are going to have a solid game plan against, hey, where are we going when we see these looks? I think Dylan has seen enough reps that he understands the structures of those coverages and things like that, I'm going into the game thinking he's going to make the right decision, 7 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times, right? And get the ball to the right guy. I think having this receiver skill set, I don't think we've had as far as a consistent 2 to 3 guys I think we go to really in quite a while, that we are able to spread the wealth, right? We don't have just one target, right? Also with Lindenmeyer at tight end too. Heinrich, he's kind of getting back into his groove too. I think there's a lot of options for him to be able to throw the football. The biggest thing is, can we run the football to make him not have 40 attempts by the end of the game? I think that's the biggest thing, and controlling the time of possession, or not necessarily time of possession, but not going 3 and out consecutive drives, putting our defense back on the field, and knowing that at the end of the day, if all things goes wrong with Underwood in the passing game, he's too rattled. 13 personnel, duo left, duo right. And it's a long football game. You know it,
You start
DB.
getting
It's
into
a long,
time possession, man.
yeah. Then you
Like,
start losing, and that's what we can't get into. But I think this offense is dynamic enough. I think Dana has a good pulse on what Dylan can do. And that we have some good receivers. Again, can we protect? Can we run the football and be efficient there? Hopefully break a couple that gets the pressure, pushing those guys back, and then really kind of get into a groove of things. But I think tempo could be a really key thing for Nebraska's offense, just to give Michigan a little unbalanced, especially or off balance early on in the game. So I'm expecting to see that, them to kind of get them in one or two base looks, kind of take advantage of some quick throws, get the ball out early, kind of get Dylan as the point guard, get everybody an assist, and then we can really get to what our true game plan is um, throughout the rest of the game.
Perfect guy to ask. I talk a lot about offset backs versus pistol and
Yep.
kind of with zone, it's just slow right to left. And I just imagine this is a game where Coach Holgerson and this offense is kind of in their bag a little bit, where you've already shown you sprinkled in some QB run game, but not you also have two back action out of the backfield. Walk me through the degree of difficulty from your vantage point playing inside when you see offset versus pistol or, downhill run game, and then how a second running dynamic influences that as well.
Yeah, I think you talk about Michigan specifically, right? They kind of add that second dynamic in the backfield as a receiver, right? Using orbit motion or even just motion them across, and he'll kick out the end or even lead up on the end sometimes or up on the backer, right? When you talk about pistol, right, and I think when you let's first talk about gun offsets. I think pistol, obviously, that's you get two-way go there. You don't really understand or know. You don't give a knowing key coming out where the ball's going. But when you talk about offset, right, especially when you're looking at Michigan and what they like to do, just as much as they like to run zone, obviously away from that back, they like duo as well. They like counters going back to the same side, right? So I think you have to first understand what do they like to do in offset, right? Because at the end of the day, it gets back to kind of being pistol, giving them a two-way go, right? So I think when you look at specifically this week, when they line up offset, I'm thinking about it. Not a lot of run games come out of the shotgun really with them.
Listen,
if I really think about it, it's either been pistol or under center.
That's my point.
Yeah. Now I think about it, I'm just kind of trying to go through clips in my head.
We weren't
Not
really
a lot
supposed
of
to say that out loud with tendencies, but that's what I do for a living. And I'm like, I think Nebraska can get a bead.
Yeah.
And conversely, I think Coach Holgerson, I think he can go to his bag with two back looks.
Right.
Utilizing front side handoff action and then getting out and RPOing the other way. I think there are some very, very strong tendencies that Michigan does when they're on offense. And I Nebraska can utilize some good tendency breakers from when they're on.
No, for sure. No, I agree. And this, week 4 is about the week when you start breaking down those things and kind of trying to, hey, what can we show that looks the same as we did week 2 or 3? Obviously, the films they've seen.
Because that was
recently.
Michigan's whole trick when they were operating at a high level, right? I mean, there were slight differences, but everything kind of looked the same.
That's still there for that is still there for them for sure. I mean, they synchronize plays very, very well. A lot of looks like, looks the same as type of concepts, and I think motion is the new complexity for offenses right nowadays, right? Just motion a guy, and now it's a whole different play for a second level defender or third level defender. So I think on both sides, I look at like I said, think back in Michigan, a lot of pistol and under center runs right now, a lot of shotgun stuff, and then for Nebraska, I think they could utilize more pistol this week, to take those initial keys away from those linebackers.
It's just tough, right? It just changes.
Yeah.
It just changed. I mean, because when you're used to seeing flow, fast or slow versus direct, it's different.
Right.
It affects your eyes differently, as an inside guy.
And I think on every one of Haynes' biggest run, I think they were all off of some type of wide receiver motion, type of thing, and getting the cornerback in the fit on some of them.
Yeah, you see how they put your boy from Oklahoma in the run fit when on that cutback.
Yeah, yep. Safety overran it. Everybody safety overran it. Cornerback just sat backside. He was frozen. He didn't know what to do.
He split he split 2 free runner hitters for 80.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was incredible.
I want to say it was 3 DB. I think they had another safety stacked behind the other guy. Like it was one of those like sheesh. Do you want like watching that one on Saturday or
Yeah.
Sunday?
So that Monday, MRI, just to let you know just how we're on sync. I said Oklahoma's probably kicking themselves that they gave up that score because schematically you can't draw
They
that
were
up different.
right.
Any better, right? Except
Right.
your two third level guys had the same fit, and your corner froze.
Mhm.
And Haynes he was super decisive, so he just hit it and
Yeah.
split.
Yeah, he's really good, right? I know
He
I got some
is.
Michigan fans. I've got some Michigan fans that found my thread and they think I'm dogging him because I said he had 51% of his yardage on 3 runs. But he's got really, really good balance, good vision. Like you said, he's decisive. Within their scheme, obviously you have small creases within those power and duo stuff, and you gotta, like you said, you either gotta hit it, read the linebacker and hit it, or bounce it outside, right? And he's done a really good job of that. By far, yeah, the best back they've seen and may see throughout the year. I think until you get to Penn State's gonna have a really, really good one too. But he's a solid back. I think Marshall, the backups, even he's just as good. He broke a run last week. They got called back for a holding on a duo play, and I mean it was the eye of the needle how tight that was, and he split it, broke it out to the sideline. So, their backs are solid, and even with this not being what I would say, is just comparable to the offensive line we've seen the past couple years from Michigan. It's not at that level. Yeah, you got some guys that are just getting their first time starting, really getting in position and things like that. These backs do a great job of BYOB. They do a great job of BYOB and being their own blockers, and finding little creases and getting those little extra 2 to 3 yards off of what you look like. Hey, it should have been stopped at the line of scrimmage.
There's 2 things that I'm glad Nebraska has seen pre-Michigan. Number 1 was Edwards from Houston Christian last week.
Yep.
Because he's nice.
He's SEC.
He is nice.
He's going to be gone next year.
He's decisive, and he's got really good balance. So I'm glad Nebraska got a chance to see him. And then the other one is Sorsby, because ultimately I think that's how they can use Underwood.
Yeah.
And I think Nebraska will be fortunate having seen Sorsby and Edwards, because I think you'll get that in Underwood and Haynes.
Yeah, no, I think one of the things that would have made that Cincinnati game even more interesting if they would have used their tight end more.
They see Nebraska neutralize Roy, and he's another Sunday guy. Like Roy is legit.
Yeah, he's a solid tight end. And so I think that gives them confidence too. And it'll be interesting to see, because Cincinnati, I think game plan initially was like, hey, we think we can throw the ball a little bit against Nebraska. We're going to be a little bit more diverse. And it got to more of a narrow mindset with, hey, Sorsby, you keep the ball, you find a way to make a play. And it'd be interesting to see if Michigan just says, hey, this is Underwood's breakout game, right? Everyone's saying, this, that, and the other, right? This is breakout game where they say, hey, we're going to stick to what we do and just run the football. So, that's going to be another interesting thing. How do they start out? Are they saying, hey, we need to get him off on the right path and get him some confidence early on? Or is it, hey, we're going to get that through getting big gains just minimal or big gains in the run game, and then we can set up our play action?
Michael, we've a lot of people have talked about kind of this idea that Nebraska has been playing kind of vanilla on both sides of the ball. How much do you think Nebraska's maybe held back for this game in particular versus things that they've wanted to put on tape?
I don't know. I'll tell you, I'll be honest. I don't really watch offensive tape as far as reviewing the offense. I watch the games obviously, but I think they offensively has a clean, good amount of concepts that they think are clean looks for Dylan. They have a good enough amount of concepts that they feel like their O-line can run. I think everything's out there as far as the concept. Now, again, motion is the new complexity of offense now, right? So different motions, formations, how we set it up, what's the sequencing of the play calls, I think for Nebraska's offense is where they can kind of take that next level and show something a little bit different, right? Although it being the same concepts. As far as the defense, I think again, I think they've shown who they want to be and what they want to do. I think it's just a matter of seeing against a good opponent. You know what I mean, Robbie? Like I think that's what everyone's just waiting for. Like, okay, what can we take from the first 3 games, right? Against whatever, however you want to label the opponents, what can we take from those first 3 games and hang our hat on? Because we're in Big Ten play, right? We're on the train. The train has left the station, right? We know who's on the train. We know who can't handle himself on the train. We know who can handle himself. Like we understand the hierarchy, right? Of our team and everyone's roles, right? Now it's just a matter of putting the pieces together every week to make sure, right, we're still on the same track, right? So I think both sides have shown their identity, who they want to be. Can we execute it, right? That's just the biggest thing, especially against a good opponent.
That's our guy, Michael Rose-Ivey. MRI, appreciate it as always. Great stuff. And if you haven't checked his Twitter out for a little film breakdown, make sure you do that as well. We appreciate the time. We'll talk to you next week.
Something else,
man. Appreciate you guys. Man, it's gonna be a great atmosphere. I'm getting up there probably around first quarter after my son's soccer game. So I'm excited to see it. It'll be great.
There we go. That's our guy, Michael Rose-Ivey. Good stuff there, as always. I'm working on. I've asked for a little help from a friend of ours.
Okay. I see you frantically.
I had an idea while we were having this conversation with Michael Rose-Ivey, and we'll get to it in a second here because he said something, and you said it first, and then he said it again. That kind of got the wheels turning a little bit about Nebraska just being better than Colorado last year versus what that is this year against Michigan. So I was like, okay, there's got to be a way to figure this out. Well, of course, our guy with the numbers, Adam McClintock, is helping me out. So he's going to send me the talent gap versus the coaching gap between Michigan, Oklahoma, and Nebraska because I want to compare some like things. Because what I've looked up that is kind of rudimentary numbers here is 24/7 has a talent composite based on current roster. I got to tell you, not a huge difference between Michigan, Oklahoma, and Nebraska.
No, I that doesn't surprise me on the hoof.
Right. And so I think it would surprise some people that Nebraska has accumulated almost as much talent as Oklahoma and Michigan. And so I'm curious.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I like this because the thought process, number one, you'd assume, and I don't know the order yet.
Okay.
You assume Michigan is numero uno.
Okay.
I don't think we were before Oklahoma this year. We were almost all out on Venables. We were about out.
Yes.
We didn't. There was a lot of things we didn't like. And then we had to do this thing in the offseason where I'm like, hey, we got to get inside the numbers a little bit. Injuries, their defensive line is NFL caliber. They were lights out last year. They were better defensively than they're given credit for. He's got to figure out the offense. So
offense was really bad.
So I don't know if we thought Oklahoma was like really good from a talent standpoint. I think we thought they were okay.
So here's how I viewed it, and I could be on an island.
Is that fair?
It is fair.
So I don't know if you know what I mean. I'm not saying we thought Oklahoma was like immensely talented.
Here's how I viewed it, but this again, I could be alone here. I'm used to being like Green Day, the minority.
Doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now.
I viewed Oklahoma as very talented, poorly coached.
See, I did not.
So, like I said, I could be alone there.
I don't know, to be honest.
But
I'm just telling you, I disagree.
That's part of the reason I didn't love Venables, is I thought he had good rosters that he wasn't getting much out.
And I would venture to say that the talent gap is still Michigan, Oklahoma, Nebraska in that order.
According to 24/7, that's correct.
Okay.
How far?
The real question is, if AMAC really wants to show off, you have to go talent gap from Colorado to Nebraska last year to Michigan, Nebraska this year. Because my statement was I felt like Nebraska was just better than Colorado a year ago.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if the talent gap in terms of recruiting will show that because Nebraska was significantly better than Colorado where they needed to be, and that was up front. Nebraska's defensive line was clearly better than Colorado's offensive line, so they kicked their tail.
Yes.
Now, Colorado put a lot of dudes in the NFL, right, with Wesco and Travis Hunter and Shador. And I mean, those guys are good.
Yeah.
So I think that's the
next question.
Yeah.
For sure.
But here's the other thing why AMAC is doing his thing. Do you think we, Nebraska fans, I should say, not me, think this team is good?
Nebraska or Michigan?
Nebraska. I think Michigan is good.
I very much think Nebraska's good.
Okay. Because I think we're afraid to say it. I've said this for a couple weeks. Like, this isn't new for me.
Yeah.
I think, and people have described it to me as, we just don't trust them. It's a little bit of this. It's a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's more, the trepidation about this game is not because we think Michigan is good. I think it's because we don't trust our own team.
I would agree.
I'm telling you, Michigan is good.
That's fine. I think Nebraska's good.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm giving this.
No, I know. I understand. That's sort of been my campaign the last few weeks, though. Is Nebraska's a good football team. Like, I think Cincinnati was a good football team. I think Nebraska's a good football team.
Yeah, I'm with. I said that, and I don't know, but I wasn't afraid to say it earlier. Cincinnati's a good football team.
I don't know what that ends up looking like. I think they're certainly a bowl team from a power conference at the very least.
I walked past 25 scouts.
Yeah, a lot of them,
Arrowhead.
A lot of them were there for Brendan Sorsby.
Yeah, like, dude is really good.
Or Royster, or like a lot of them were there.
Royer.
For
They're tight.
Yeah, Royer.
I'm still
Who's
shocked.
Royster? Where did I?
Mazio Royster.
Yeah.
Do you know who Mazio Royster played for in college?
I don't.
USC.
Oh, of course you know it then. You love USC.
No, I'm just
almost as much as you love Michigan.
You give me any randoms. I love Michigan. I grew up.
What's Caleb's middle name?
I grew up liking Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not even going to tell you why I like Braylon Edwards.
Why?
He's nuts.
Yeah.
No, he played so hard. He was so competitive.
Yeah. I liked Braylon Edwards.
And I like the father-son story dynamics. You know, talk about sins of the father. Like,
yeah,
it was always this turbulent thing. And I don't know, man. Braylon, he just played hard.
Yeah.
Didn't want to take a backseat. Now, he's hard-headed. But I like Braylon.
Who was the
he's still not. And you know my favorite player that has never played for a team that I like.
I thought that was Clinton Portis.
I don't mind Miami.
Oh.
There's 5 teams. This is what Big Head Jed used to always get on.
That you hate?
No.
Oh, that you like.
Yeah. I said this in 05. And somehow I developed this moniker of having 1,000 different favorite teams.
So Nebraska?
It's not true, though.
Nebraska?
Is number 1.
USC?
Is 1A.
Michigan?
In the hunt.
Miami, apparently?
In the hunt.
Carolina?
No, not
for football.
No.
Who's the 5th for football?
Georgia.
Why?
Because I liked I liked a lot of their backs. I liked Hampton. I liked Robert Edwards. I liked Garrison Hurst.
I was a big Garrison Hurst guy, but he's 49er. Garrison Hurst.
It's why. Do you know why I honk for Stafford?
Georgia.
I
just liked him. I thought he was good.
And I love Mark Richt.
I loved Mark Richt. I can agree there.
So
I thought he got. So that's part of the reason I don't like Georgia now is because I felt like they kind of did him dirty.
And Kugler and those guys, they just took it and ran.
I was a big
because I said this early, right? It was like teams that you kind of
gravitate towards.
And I explained all of them.
Yeah,
I explained all of them. My dad was a USC honk.
Yeah,
you know, Michigan again, colorblind, but I liked their uniforms when I was little.
Yeah.
I didn't really stop liking Michigan until like Jamie Morris and those guys beat Nebraska in the bowl game. But that was. Up until then was like my favorite bowl game of all time.
It's like 08?
No, it was like 86.
Oh, you're talking way back. Okay. Yeah. I did love Mark Richt. Mark Richt was like one of my favorites.
Again,
but he was a Florida State guy. So
you sign this for me as an adult at Rosenblatt?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did.
I was a big No-Sean Moreno guy.
So he's fine.
I like No-Sean a lot.
I didn't love his run. He's like great. He's like Elroy Hirsch.
He had there was a lot of limbs going on.
Yeah, but it didn't fit my eye so much.
So I'll ask Adam about the Colorado, Nebraska versus Michigan, Nebraska gap this year, because I do think that's the right next question. But I
agree with it. Well, I agree with him on a lot. I agree with MRI too about Nebraska's concepts being the concepts. I don't know if we'll get some wrinkles. But again, I keep an eye on 2 backs in the backfield.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't put that in fall camp and not break it
For
out.
no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. That's, again, what did I say at Crooks yesterday? Mosey. I know he's not technical. I mean, I know he's splitting
No, I get how you use him. No, that's how you use him.
But yeah, I think
you don't have to quantify it.
I think Mosey,
that's how you'd use him.
I think Mosey plays a big role on Saturday. Let's take a quick break here. We're gonna get to our guy Brian Edwards. Get a little wagering going on.
Cream cheese, the butter, the bagel.
He's a big cream cheese butter and the bagel guy. Also,
I'm gonna have to get my act together. I don't feel great, man, and I got to go to Nebraska City and Holy Ghost.
He's a big betting guy. We'll see what we can get from our Vegas insider. See if we can get a little. See if we can get a little taste, a little what's going on here.
You see what I see.
If you need a little boost, go call our friends over at Next Gen Male Medical. Whether it's weight loss, whether it's testosterone, no matter what it is, they've got you covered. I picked my stuff up this week and am getting started on it now. I can't wait to let you know what all the results are there. Give them a call, 402-614-9700. It's Next Gen Male Medical. Brian Edwards coming up next.
For sure. Being gone for 8 years, and that was also a big, part of Creighton's rise to how great they've gotten. So I've missed a lot of heated battles. I've always watched them on TV, and luckily they're always on a night where you can typically watch. So it definitely met my expectations from a game and the crowd and, just how into it people were. Of course, I'm looking back, I want to play better, and I'm sure Creighton's going to look at and be like, this game was in our hands, a couple points here and there, but that's what makes rivalry games so fun, is that anything can happen. There's a lot of emotions, and now I thought, I know there's a lot of Nebraska fans, but there were tons of Creighton fans too. When I left, the last game we played in here was like probably 90% Nebraska fans, so it's a testament to Creighton and how much their program's grown, and that not only they're still competing at a high level, but they've brought a lot of people into their program.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
That's what we'd hoped. When I got here last year, I know I was a secondary coach last year, but there were different systematically. There was a lot of how they were coached in the past was look at the quarterback, have their eyes in the backfield, see a lot, and that's how they approached it. And it took some time for me to adjust that. And then obviously, as I took over as coordinator, my background in coaching the secondary is to take a very collective and disciplined, eye-disciplined approach. When we're playing man coverage, we're looking at our man. When we're playing match coverage, we're looking at our match. Like, we're not looking at the quarterback. In order to defend the pass, you have to defend the receivers, and the quarterback comes second. So I think that those guys have embraced that. They've had more time on task. That just comes with time. being around me, and Coach Addison's doing a good job of coaching it the way I want it coached. So, and then obviously the athlete of the players has continued to improve. I think we've got 3 really good corners, that can match up, that have shown they can match up. We have safeties that can cover. We have linebackers that can cover too. I don't think that can be discounted. The teams have tried to leak running backs out, tight ends out, whether it's Javen Wright or Vincent Shavers or whoever it's been. Like, our matchups have not just been on that corner. We've been doing a pretty good job of matching up with whoever they've been sending out there. So, and that's the key, is making sure it really comes down to eye discipline and execution within the coverage systems, and then having enough variety in your coverage systems to confuse the quarterback.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live. Now, Vegas insider, senior handicapper, and fan of the cold Budweiser bottles, Brian Edwards.
It's got to be touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
Brian Edwards.
I don't really love it.
Brian Edwards.
The way they're using the cream cheese to butter the bagel.
Brian Edwards.
I'm going with the cowgirl.
Here is Brian Edwards.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by our friend Brian Edwards from Major Wager. What's up, B?
Good morning, fellas. What's happening?
How we doing?
Great. Did you guys review the results of those picks I DM'd you last week?
Yeah. I just want to know, because I'm sure you're like saving it in the Rolodex, or maybe you treated yourself to a nice cigar. As DJ Lagway is probably on his way out the door, but what'd you spend your winnings on? NIL fund for a new quarterback?
No.
A new athletic director?
Well, they got to pay for a buyout and a new head coach first.
Well, your university prez needs some help too. So,
well, I don't know. I think I mentioned last we inexplicably gave a raise to, which he should give all to Todd Golden, and extended the AD 2 weeks ago. So, he's gonna be great. He's gonna be hiring the next coach anyway. So it's gonna be Sketch City.
What's the fan base feeling about DJ?
I mean, he gets a mulligan with me.
You don't like Napier that much. You're just willing to overlook Wack.
No. It was a terrible performance, obviously. But let me. A lot of people might not realize this, and it's kind of wild. It was his 10th career start. Yeah. 5 home starts last year. Georgia and Tulane. At neutral venues, 2 home starts. It was his first career road start, and Napier dropped him back to power through 49 times compared to 27 runs, but it was worse than that because he had 9 of the 27 runs, and I'm guessing 1, maybe 2 were designed runs. So let's add at least 7 to the 49 passes. As far as play calling from Napier, that makes 56. That's double 27. Saturday night, your first career road start ever. You're making him drop back. The only game I blamed on Spurrier in his tenure was 1997 at Red Stick, same place, and he made Doug Johnson throw more than 50 times. And his first career road start on a night Fred Taylor could not be stopped. That was the only loss I ever blamed on Spurrier. So no. Lagway was horrible, no question, but we out first downed them 23-10. We out yarded them. We had 15 more minutes time of possession. So yeah, it was on Lagway, but it was on Napier as well.
Does the discipline drive you crazy? Is it the untimely stuff? He was asked about that after the first quarter, and my man said, "Yeah, I mean, that happened. We're on the road. That's football." He was kind of dismissive.
Yeah.
About the lack of discipline.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have 100 yards of penalties this week, but if you count the 87-yard touchdown that got called back, it's like 150. But I thought that was kind of a shaky call. I don't know if y'all saw like the replay of that holding call, but it was a little, yeah.
I'm just glad that the rest of the world has finally decided that DJ Lagway's lack of experience might be an issue.
Yeah, and his
not like anybody was here that could have told you that.
Right, like I mean, look, he's just not very good at reading defenses right now. He's poorly coached. The reads he made against Tulane on those 2 first half interceptions that cost me
Horrifying.
-7, -7 first half bet that day were horrifying. Yeah.
He has the same number of career starts as Anthony Richardson before he got drafted.
So the Colts will be calling him any day now.
Isn't that crazy though to think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it about Anthony Richardson too.
10.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Oh,
No, Richardson had 13 starts
Yeah.
in
Yep.
college.
Yep.
But yeah, DJ's about to catch AR, and they both read defenses about the same.
Well, I'd pump the brakes on that. It sounds like he's about to redshirt and then head somewhere else. So
Okay, and I got the solution to that.
okay.
What do you got?
I want the Cal quarterback with my.
Yeah. Oh, he's nice. The little freshman.
Oh boy, is he good!
Yeah, he's nice. I wonder how much they ponied up because they're gonna have to double it to keep him.
Oh, well, they're not keeping him. They knew that was the one. They knew Justin Wilcox. I like that guy.
Me too.
He knew it was a 1-year rental, and he was perfectly fine with it. Let's just get you 1 year, buddy. Save my job one more time.
Man, Justin Wilcox needs to find himself a better place to coach football. Like
Yeah, he
it's
does.
rough out there.
He's too good for that place.
Yeah, he really is. All right, B. Let's
Oh shoot.
let's start getting the picks this week.
As an underdog, he is.
Well, yeah, you know, he's no underdog coach like Napier though, right?
Napier's underdog record's starting to slip a touch, but
It's not looking as good as it did.
Oh shoot.
Let's start with one of the games I'm most interested in because I'm selfish.
Wonder why.
So let's go with Illinois at Indiana. Illinois is a 6-point dog in that one. How are we feeling?
This thing is kind of moved a little, B.
yeah, that's why I'm looking at it now to make sure it didn't move overnight. I'm trying to find it. It was up to 6. Oh, here it is.
Down to 3.5.
No, Westgate and FanDuel popped 6.5 today.
I'll say I've
so-
got it at 6.5 too. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can buy it to 7 now.
Well,
Okay,
that's-
look, this is my first time going against Signetti since he got to Indiana, so maybe I'm playing with fire. But Illinois is 12-4 against the spread as a road underdog under Belima, and I think it's a toss-up game in terms of who wins outright. Hey, I plugged this thing in Monday morning at plus 4.5, so obviously I like it. Hell, now let's buy the half point to 7. I didn't think it would get to 6.5. Look, heck of a game. I think it'll be a wire-to-wire, one-possession game. I don't know who wins outright, but I love I like Illinois plus the 6.5. Maybe buy that half point to 7.
Yeah. Your boy Signetti is auditioning for that Florida job, so careful.
Everybody is, right?
This number doesn't really seem right, but I get it. You and Ravi both like taking this free money. How is Baylor only 2.5? They're begging you to take the folks from Waco, and I'm guessing B, you're going to be all in on laying that 2.5.
I am, man. ASU's not looked right yet this year. I mean, they were down 17-3 at half at Mississippi State. I mean, obviously they missed Scattaboo, and that's a lot. I mean, he was a lot of their production. But man, I mean, I can't turn. I mean, if Baylor -3 or less at home against a team that I think they're slightly better than, I mean, even matchup, but give me the home team that I think's got. I mean, I like Levitt as well, but I think Sawyer Robertson's playing better. He's second in the nation in passing yards with 1,070, 10-2 TD INT ratio. But the 2 INTs were last week against an FCS opponent. He didn't have any INTs against SMU or Auburn. I like Baylor -2.5.
Okay, B. So here's one that I'm very interested in because of an injury situation. Missouri is a 6.5 or 7-point favorite against South Carolina. How much of that for you depends on Lenore Seller's status?
To be honest, I wish he was not concussed last week, and I wish he was definitely playing, and this line was 7. And I think Missouri is going to put it on them, but it's kind of a weird situation because if Sellers is downgraded, this thing's going to go from 10.5 to 14. And if he's upgraded, it's probably going to go below the key number of 10, maybe even all the way to 7. So what I've done so far is I bet Missouri minus 6.5 in the first half, and I bet their team total over 29.5. But I really think that you can bet Missouri any way you want, in my opinion. I love how they're playing. I think you can bet them for the game, first half, first quarter, team total over game, first half. I think they're going to smash them, and I think Missouri is a problem. I know they haven't played the toughest schedule, but Ahmad Hardy is crushing it right now, second in the nation in rushing yards. Bo Prabula the team is 8th in scoring, 51.7 per, 4th in total yards, 587. Prabula's 7-1 TDI and T ratio, true dual threat, 3 rushing touchdowns. Ahmad Hardy, 8.1 yards per carry. I think Missouri's really good, and South Carolina's only scored 5 offensive touchdowns in 3 games, and Vatek's defense didn't look that good against ODU or Vandy. And I think South Carolina's got offensive issues. Remember, they got 3 punt returns for a touchdown and a defensive scoop and score in the first 2 weeks, and they got smacked. I mean, I know Sellers got hurt, but I think Vandy was going to win that game anyway.
Perhaps the 2 best, most underappreciated quarterbacks in the country.
Oh, I know where you're going.
With Dampier and Morton, right? These guys are
my guy, Devin Dampier.
These guys are pretty good, flying under the radar. Beads. Key number 3, Utah at home.
Yeah, this is a smaller opinion because both of these teams look really good. Man, Texas Tech just jumps on everybody like 45-0 like that. Smaller opinion, but I like Whittingham, and he's got him a quarterback finally after those good Rising years, and then 2 years where we didn't know if Rising was questionable every week for 2 years.
2 years.
We call that call that purgatory.
By the way, side note, why the heck has the SEC not fined Lane Kiffin yet? He straight up lied on that injury report about Austin Simmons all doggone week last week.
Yeah.
Did y'all see when he went in the game? He could barely walk.
Hey, listen.
Honestly, that might be better for Ole Miss than Austin Simmons.
Conversely, Oklahoma's injury report that has half their team on there?
Right. I mean, how's the SEC not finding him? And by the way, I agree with what you just said, Ravi. Chambliss should be the starter, period, right now. Did y'all? He played spectacular last week.
Another guy that I just want to put out there that people were assuming was gonna be good at football that is not good at football.
Austin Simmons.
Austin Simmons, yes. Just want to add that to my list.
Sure.
Where Ravi was right.
You've nailed some of those this year.
We haven't even talked about our guy Arch Manning yet.
He may go 5 for 5 at this rate.
Give me a couple more. It was Lagway,
Sellers, Lagway,
Simmons,
Manning,
Arch.
Simmons.
The
one I missed was Mateer.
Yep.
I'm gonna miss Mateer.
And we'll see what happens with Mendoza.
I said I didn't know about Mendoza. I wasn't as strong on Mendoza. Although I'll call it 5 out of 6 because I wasn't sure about Gronowski either.
Well, yeah, you were hating. And I go, this is Iowa, man. What if we're going to be embarrassed? You're like, I don't know, man.
Well, I think you're right about Gronowski. I don't think he's very good either.
Mateer was my only miss.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Hey, but Oklahoma's got 7 O-linemen on the injury report.
It's crazy.
3 of them are out. 4 of them are questionable.
That's bad.
Still laying 6.5.
But Auburn's got secondary injuries. That injury report was not good to either team last night.
Do you trust Jackson Arnold?
I need to see it one more time. He looked pretty doggone good at Baylor, but Baylor's defense is not that good, so we'll see.
Fool's gold for your boy. I drafted him in our quarterback fantasy league, and I was ready to give him up until last week, and he showed me some signs of life. But I also have Sellers, and he sucks at the moment.
I'm like Riss Astley. I'm never going to give up on my guy Devin Dampier. He is killing it for me.
Oh, I know. I have a buddy that put 101 on him to win the Heisman, and he's down to like 15, I think. I've got Haynes King 90. He's down to 30.
That's a pretty Haynes King long shot's a good number.
Yeah, and I almost guessed that right, B, when you told me in the offseason what you had him for. This is kind of off script a little bit, but speaking of Ole Miss quarterbacks, don't you like Retzloff down in Tulane catching that big number?
I'm not messing with it, but Tulane was an She's my late ad, not he was a late ad. Tulane was a late ad to my card last week, and they got there with 4 rushing touchdowns. Ole Miss's defense is suspect, but and that line's been jumping from like 11 to 13. That's 12.5 now because Kiffin's lying again. He's saying Simmons is going to start, but it's non-conference. He doesn't have to do an injury report this week. But I think if I'm an Ole Miss fan, I want Chambliss to start not just this week, but moving forward.
All right, real quick on the NFL before we let you go here.
Texans.
Yeah, what do we got? Let's run through it.
Texans, Bengals, Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown, and Eagles if you can get it at 3. I got 3 Monday morning if you can buy it at 3, and I think that's it. Yeah,
it is a chunky.
Do we have an over under on DJ Lagway interceptions coming up, or are we cool?
I looked at FanDuel; they didn't have anything posted.
I love that you actually looked. That's incredible.
Not for me, for the podcast yesterday, just for the podcast.
Oh, okay. All right. You gotta take the money where it's at, right? We appreciate it as always. We'll talk later.
All right, fellas. See ya.
Thanks, V.
That's Brian Edwards from Major Wager. We'll be back with our guy Michael Bruntz here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
He told me. I mean, he's seen it a lot more than I have.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, dude, I look back at the last 2 weeks and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. You know, so I mean, game 1 at Cincinnati was incredible. You know, with our fan base. And, you know, then the night game was something that I hadn't experienced here. And then you turn around, you go, oh, it's going to look like at 11 o'clock. I've been in that situation to where it's been great. And then 11 a.m. it's hot. And it's kind of, you know what I mean? And that didn't exist here last week. So, you know, I don't know what to expect other than greatness, you know, and I know he's looking forward to it. I know I am. You know, I know, you know, Coach Rule is. I mean, this is a big game because, you know, all of them are big, you know, and so we know who the opponent is, and it's our job to know everything about them, man. You know, what they're doing defensively, who they are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what their plan of attack is. And then, you know, on Saturday, you know, thinking that we know what they're going to do and having to adjust what they are doing. That's just part of our job.
I have not watched a ton of the match back yesterday. I watched a little bit of the fourth set, like from my house last night, just to see what it looked like on TV and what the crowd looked like and that kind of thing. And so I would say my biggest takeaway is that we played in front of a great crowd and a lot of joy and all of that. Just live, I felt like we let some tips fall in that fifth set that we don't normally do. Those are the ones that I think as a team we want back. I mean, the biggest thing that we always talk about, like we pick up the junk, we don't let that kind of thing score. So I thought we had some moments in that fifth set to save some points and score in transition that we just didn't do. But I really liked the swings that we were taking on match. Our big priority was to slow down their outsides, and I think they both hit in the hundreds. Jaya, I just think doesn't get enough love for what she does as a blocker. We've put her on every opponent we faced this year's top outside, and she's shut pretty much every one of them down. So she's a phenomenal blocker, and we're just really lucky that she's on our right side.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here on here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by our Thursday friend, Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7. Bruntz, what's going on?
Not much. How you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. Ravi is he's on his if a mile is 4 times around a track, Ravi is on his 7th lap.
Oh no.
Of clowning second-year quarterbacks that got all the run in the offseason that aren't. He's got he blames it from his tennis elbow from tennis, but I don't know how much you can do this, Bruntz, but at some point it would start to hurt.
I don't have tennis elbow. I would use proper technique, so it's definitely from the back padding.
Do you guys remember Barry Horowitz from the old WCW days?
Oh, yeah.
That was his shtick, was the pat on the back, remember?
Oh,
about halfway through the match, he'd knock like Hulk Hogan down to the mat. Then he'd turn to the crowd and give him one of these.
Did he end up becoming like the dirty garbage man dude too? He like had a character reincarnation. Do you know what I'm talking
about? Let's see. Wow, he's old.
Talking about like Mankind? Is that
No. I know exactly who Bruntz is talking about though. That's funny. How we get a Barry Bruntz, you're not even that old.
I am. He was in WCW like when I was.
Oh, so that's right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, it was our focuses on wrestling aligned in that period of time.
Your friend over here is pretty much incorrigible when it comes to Lagway, Arch Manning,
Lenore Sellers,
Mark
Gronowski, Austin Simmons.
He just would like an explanation, Bruntz, and maybe you can help us and provide some levity on why the national media had such a love affair with year 2 quarterbacks and did not include Dylan Raiola in that discussion. Ravi, still very upset.
I don't know. I don't know why you're making me
defend him.
Stand on the table for these guys.
I haven't got a good answer yet. I thought maybe you're a smart guy. You might be able to put yourself.
At least a different perspective.
I don't have to do that. I don't need to do downfield blocking for those takes. I'm good. I'm good. I had a similar reaction at the time to you, Ravi. I think we were aligned in our thinking on that. Certainly Lagway was at the front of the list there. And the Gronowski thing I was a little surprised by.
I am too.
Because there's just a funk there. It's just in the DNA, of the program, and regardless of coordinator or quarterback. But that would surprise me a little bit because I was expecting him to not be top 5 quarterback, but at least have better numbers than TJ Lateef. So
wow. Well, we thought Arch Manning was going to have better numbers than TJ Lateef too, and he couldn't pull that off last week. So
yeah. Is he hurt? Is there something wrong there?
That's the conspiracy theory,
Don't ask his coach, because
have you gone down the Texas long?
Nope.
Okay, it's incredible. They're Zapruder filming this guy, seeing if he's wincing while he's throwing every time he dirts one, and it is incredible. I'm having the time of my life.
I try to stay away from very, very dark corners of the internet like that if I can help it. So no, I don't. I mean, I don't understand it, but I am aware of the takes and the lists that were out there preseason. It's gonna, if things go Nebraska's way this weekend, it's gonna be fascinating to see everybody trying to pile back on the bandwagon, right? You're gonna need a velvet rope and some guys at the door to try to keep people off of it. And we haven't forgotten. We remember who was off the bandwagon, but are not even considering it. So I don't know. It's an interesting week in game for Nebraska, not only for big picture season things, but also just perceptions of quarterbacks nationally.
It's interesting too because Ravi's getting some statistical data from our good friends over at Matrix Analytical, and in particular Adam McClintock, about coaching effect. And there's, according to their numbers, you have to be clear because sometimes people like to just clip things and then accuse you of hot takes. But according to their metrics, Nebraska's coaching effect in this game is plus 10 points, which is it.
I don't know if that's game points or just in their metric 10 points. So I want to be clear.
No,
about
it's
that.
in their metric.
Yeah.
It's not like that's
it's a significant.
That's a big number. Does it seem like when you look at the coaching prowess that's what it would come out to? Without really knowing their measurables, it's still a big number relative to the data.
I guess. I mean, I don't know what their numbers like. I don't know what a scale looks like for them.
So, for instance, average coaching is a 60 number. It's like 60.3.
Okay.
Nebraska as a staff is at 65. Michigan as a staff is at 56. So they're about as far away above and below average from the average.
How much of that is Dana? Like, is that like who's doing the heavy lifting? Get on the horn there.
Oh no, I've got it.
No, he broke
it all down for me because he's incredible. So Dana is a heavy lifter here, but here's the example. So I'll go through them all. So Rule is 70.6 to Moore's 51.4.
Even if he's what's Biff though?
I assume Biff is lower than that, but I'm not. I don't know for sure. Offensive play caller Holgerson is 76.9. Lindsay is 50.5. Defensive, we don't have a number on Butler yet, so that one we had to throw out. But here's the other one that's really significant. Eckler's a 70.8. Brown is a 56.2 on special teams.
Yeah. No, I mean, have you guys been paying attention to what's been the conversation up in Michigan?
No, what is it?
Well, there's a lot of concern about special teams up there.
What I tell you this morning?
Yeah,
I told Ravi I think we can I think we can get one.
And it's even their kicker was very good, very consistent last year, but he's missed a couple short ones. I don't think they love what they're doing punting wise. I struggle with like the whiplash of like how we've gone from like what are we doing here? Like just hope, yeah, exactly.
Please just snap the ball.
You're Bruce Arians right now, just snapping that head over.
It's amazing.
Oh, I was doing the Canelo though.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Just snapping and holding, which seems to have eluded Nebraska for years.
And all of a sudden, it's like, wow, this might actually be an advantage here. And Nebraska, Nebraska in the first 3 games of the year was +4 in average starting field position against Cincinnati. They were +17 in each game against Akron and Houston Christian. It's like, well, of course you should be, but
they kicked the ball out of bounds now.
Right. But I'm saying like that's like I would have to go back and look the last time Nebraska was won starting field position 3 games in a row. Like it's a weird thing to be here, and here we are. But no, I think the coaching piece of it's going to be really fascinating, kind of the tit for tat stuff. I'm eager to see how the combo of Dylan and Dana kind of deals with whatever Michigan's going to try to do defensively with pressure and whatnot. Because I think that's kind of going to be the chess match within all this is whether or not Dylan can get them in good plays based on what he's seen and what Michigan's trying to disguise.
If you think that it comes down to whether or not, or one of the major things it comes down to is whether or not Dylan can get Nebraska into good plays, how does that make you feel about the results of the game? Like, do you feel good if that's what the game comes down to?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done really well at that. I mean, I think that's been probably I mean, we talked about it a little bit with the coaching staff. I wrote about it before week 2. But it's that's a really big piece of what Nebraska's doing offensively right now. And when, Dana talks about keeping the ball in play or putting the ball in play and just keeping things on schedule. I think a lot of that's Dylan's just kind of mastery of protections and shifting things and kind of just understanding what is going on. I mean, I think, to the growth that he's made in that area from last year, and he was doing some of that last year, but I mean, the offseason work he's done to get on the same page with Dana and what they're looking for and how he's handling things. I mean, it's next level stuff right now. So I think that's a huge kind of piece of what, Nebraska is going to be in Big Ten play, is just him being able to go out there and kind of run things with what Nebraska needs to do.
The weird thing about consistency, right? It's hard to appreciate, and it's kind of boring until everything around it changes. Right? It's like, oh, we have a hard time being appreciative of it until it looks like utter chaos. And we're hoping on Saturday it doesn't look like utter chaos. His consistency has been hard for us to appreciate because we've made it opponent specific as opposed to just looking at it for what it is.
Yeah, no, I think so. And it's interesting. I mean, like when you kind of go back and like have it in the back of your head that like the coaching staff has said, like he made such a huge leap last year between Iowa and Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you go back and kind of watch that bowl game with that in the back of your head, like you see it, like the offense was flowing a lot more freely and seemed to be kind of more similar to what they've done this year with just taking the short stuff, the occasional big play, and kind of how that performance in New York has bled into this year. And yeah, I mean, I think there's the caveat of what the opponent's been, but also it's been very under control, and I think that's a reflection of what he's doing right now. Not only in the passing game, but also just getting in Nebraska into good looks in the run game too. I mean, I think that's part of it is, that they seem to be functioning at a high level with the play calling aspect of it. And I think that's maybe something that, is going to be Nebraska's advantage in this game with somebody that's so much in control of things at the quarterback spot. And you're going up against a freshman quarterback making his first conference road start.
If Nebraska, of the low-hanging fruit, which one do you think becomes more of a factor? Is it Nebraska's ability to stop Michigan's run game, or is it more about handling Bryce Underwood in terms of his duality?
I think you got to limit the running game. Because I think
Nebraska fans they're still terrified that they can't stop the run.
Yeah, I think you need to show it. I think Michigan needs to see it. I mean, I think that's a fair thing to say going on this one. I mean, if you're able to at least limit the run a little bit and give Michigan some pause about what they're doing and what they're calling and not being able to just turn around and hand the ball off. I think that's a big win for Nebraska because you're putting it on a very talented quarterback, but also a young quarterback. And, I think Nebraska's done a pretty nice job at times this year of disguising coverages and, doing things that are maybe a little bit more advanced given the experience that they have on the back end. And so I think a really kind of big kind of determining factor early in this game is if Nebraska shows up on those first few possessions and shows that they're in there to stop the run and be effective there. I think that's going to go a long way. I mean, Underwood's duality, that's going to be there no matter what. And you're just going to have to get him on the ground. You're going to have to rush the quarterback with discipline. And I think they've addressed some of those things or tried to address some of those things since the Cincinnati game when they had issues there. But if they can, get in there and bow up a little bit against the run game, I think that's going to be the biggest factor for the defense and forcing Michigan off of what it's trying to do.
Do you think in that Nebraska is going to be able to kind of commit some more guys, maybe with some kind of aggressive fronts where you think because there's a couple things I look at. I don't think Michigan's receivers are super dynamic. Underwood's not been great downfield. He's only 14 for 32 on passes in the air over 10 yards on the season. And so if I'm looking at that, and Nebraska's got so far literally the best pass defense in the country so far, right? So if I look at those three things, I would think, okay, maybe I can load up against the run a little bit. Like, do you like Nebraska's ability to maybe devote some more resources to that?
I think you can. I mean, I think that's one of the benefits of being able to cover well. If you go to Sear Wright and Donovan Jones and Andrew Marshall and just say, look, lock these guys down one-on-one, that allows guys like Singleton to be a little bit more run focused. So yeah, I think that's a huge advantage. And I think that's also, if you can stop the run, I think you could potentially get Underwood to start throwing some balls where he doesn't want to, and having to go downfield a little bit more and facing more 3rd and longs. And so, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot that having a strong secondary allows you to do in other facets of the defense. And certainly, if you mix and match fronts, you mix and match personnel or dedicate more guys to the box, I think that's a huge advantage for Nebraska, for sure. So, I do think this is, in talking about groups that maybe aren't getting their run because of opponent. I mean, that's another group that I would put in that category of a chance to really kind of change the narrative about, at least more so nationally than what they're being. I don't think anybody's talking about Nebraska's secondary right now, but this is kind of a prove it game for them.
Let me ask you something. I've been asking this about future headlines, and I'm going to ask you both ways. If Nebraska wins on Saturday, your future headlines will have what coordinator or position coach in the first couple of paragraphs?
Well, it depends how it goes. I mean, if you're able to get in there and stop the run,
makes it a future headline if they win.
I know. I don't have to choose one path. I'm going to go down one path, and I'm going to double back, and I'm going to go down the other path.
Sorry about that.
I will not submit to your radio guy question.
Can't put me in a box.
Can't put me in a
Nobody
box.
puts baby in a corner.
I think it will lean more towards the offense. I think that I'm expecting a tight game. I think you're probably going to need your quarterback to make a few throws when it matters. And I think part of the spillover to that is going to be your offensive coordinator and what he's going to do. I think finding the right mix and match of run and pass is going to be really important in this one. I think you're going to have to find 3 or 4 plays where you catch Michigan in a bad look. And again, part of that's your quarterback understanding what that bad look looks like and getting you to that place if he can. But I would lean more there if Nebraska is gonna win and what we're gonna read about on Sunday. I think it's gonna be more towards the offense a little bit. I think
so in future headlines, if Nebraska doesn't win, will it still start with offense?
No. I think
isn't the dichotomy in that philosophy strange to say out loud?
Yeah. What would I have said? Should I have said Eckler for the positive? Because the potential is there.
I just think it's hard for me to envision a scenario in which if they win, we're talking about offense, but if they don't, we're not talking about offense. Like, do you think it's going to be an outscoring kind of deal?
No, but I think
it'll be like Underwood broke contain, or they let Justin Haynes break off a couple.
Interesting.
Like that. That's how I took your answer.
Yeah. No, I think if Michigan's going to win this one, I think it's going to be either Nebraska's inability to stop the run or Underwood's going to look like Clayton Thorson back there running around. So, and that's, and I love that reference, because if you just cut that on itself, like you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Was that 2015?
Yes.
He had like a buck in the first half.
He's still running. They never tackled him. He's still running right down that right sideline. Nebraska's in all black jerseys, and Clayton Thorson is running looking like Michael Vick.
It looked like you just punched DB in the stomach. That's what his reaction when you said Clayton Thorson was like, kicked him in the nards.
Yeah, right. Right in the pills.
I could not believe that. That was.
Oh my gosh!
Most unbelievable from that game: Clayton Thorson doing the crazy legs routine, or Dean Lowry getting paid.
Oh, he did get paid. What do you have? 34 sacks.
Yes.
At one point, bro, I remember this clearly, vividly, given the reaction. I go, so we're just gonna let this guy run?
That's if there's anything we take away from today, it's that you don't want Bryce Underwood to look like Clayton Thorson back there. That's what we take away.
I think that Michigan would actually agree with that.
Somebody in Ann Arbor's like, what the hell?
They're just not going to account for the quarterback, huh? Okay.
Bruntz, is there any chance in your mind, based on your answer, that if Nebraska wins, what are the future headlines? Is there any chance, do you think there's a chance in your mind that this is the game where we start to just trust the combined super brain of Dylan Raiola and Dana Holgorsen, and we say, yeah, they're going to figure it out?
Yeah. Does anybody not trust them?
Well, I mean, we haven't seen it against this level of opponent.
I think it's the other way. I think it's Butler. I think it's on the defensive side. We're still skeptical. It's what look at how the whole week is gone with our guys.
Yeah.
It's the offense, and we assume this, and the offense, and we assume, nobody.
You know what I'm assuming? I'm assuming the defense is going to be fine. That's what I'm doing right now.
Well, so far you only have Nebraska giving up 17 points.
Yeah, so that's fine. That's good. Oh. So that, my assumption is the defense will be there. That's why I asked the question about, is this the point where we just say, hey, Dylan and Dana, their combined super brain is they're going to be unable to unlock the key?
I don't have. I think I need to see it more from the defense in this game than I need to see it from the offense. I have more trust there on offense than I do on the defense. And only part of that is just the things that make Michigan somewhat scary in this game are the things that Nebraska needs to improve on from week one. So I think that's where I just want to see it. That's all on defense. So, and I think part of it is that there's a little bit more of body of work between Dylan and Dana. So that's where I'm at.
I think it's funny too, because as I kind of listen, and you're definitely not alone, Bruntz, and the offensive slant. Just imagine, if you will, if Nebraska's finishing drive rate is better by 4 points, or they aren't 66% from the 5-yard line in terms of scoring touchdowns, or we have all these other concerns about facets. Like if they just score points when they should, this is a completely different offense.
Yeah. No, that Akron game, it should have been 90-0.
80 was certainly on the table. Yeah.
Yeah. That was there. Yeah. It's fair. This is one of those games where you absolutely have to punch those in. You can't be kicking field goals from inside the 5 against Michigan. So, that's a piece of it for sure.
Bruntz, you think Nebraska wins this game?
I do.
Ooh, I do.
There we go.
24-21, I think is what I've been saying. So
that's kind of in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's where DB is. You're in good company.
I haven't given my final yet. I beat the bar.
With Nebraska winning?
Right now I like Nebraska.
Is that going to change?
We'll see what tomorrow brings.
Yeah.
You never know.
Sorry, I don't mean to spoil alert here. I've got you on the horn now. I want to get the answer.
Well, I come see you before every game, but apparently my timing sucks. You actually are working, and I have downtime in my job, so it never works out.
How early are you getting over there?
I will be there tomorrow. The on-air mic will start at 10:30.
Saturday.
Got it.
Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Tomorrow I will be
Right here
in Bellevue, bright and early, bells and whistles.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got the T-Boys.
That's our guy, Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7.
You should go check out Miller North, Bruntz.
We don't need to talk about that right now. We don't need to talk about that right now.
I've seen the scores. I know what's coming down that pipe.
I am miffed.
I
am miffed.
I've spent the last week convincing myself I'm not going to be the guy that talks about whether there needs to be a change at a head coaching position at a high school. I'm not going to be that guy.
I like AB.
I do too. I don't like losing 51-0 to anybody. That's not named.
I think it was 51-7.
I don't think it was.
Was it?
I do not believe they scored.
Yeah.
Anybody outside of Miller South and West Side, that's not an acceptable score.
They got 7.
Oh, did they?
7.
Oh, good.
Let's go, DB.
I think that must have been a garbage time touchdown. It was 51-0 at one point. I don't feel good about it. I'm not going to be that guy though. I hope that things get better.
Bruntz, what time you going down? Saturday?
I'll get there earlier. It's a little bit of a mess. I'll probably get over there around 11.
Did you like your media pregame soft shell scram? Oh, you don't really.
Breakfast tacos were good. That was a nice curveball.
You like that? So somebody that's appreciative.
It was Sam that was like, it's fine. They were fine.
Well, Sam wasn't alone. Everybody said that. I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? Like, we've never had anything like that as an option.
No, that's a new one. And there's been a little bit of grumbling about the post game pizza though.
Where is that? Usually
it was. I don't know where it was from. It had like the box just said pizza. Like that's all it said.
Where do you get post game pizza? Is it in the press room?
Well, they have some downstairs and then they have some upstairs as well. So you got to hang around a little bit for it. It's for the unwashed masses that hang around.
I have to. You're so stupid.
How do you feel about generic pizza? What's your if there's no brand on it? Like if I'm just like, this is a hot dog, Damon.
I don't rock with pizza normally.
He's not a pizza guy.
But this is not a hot take, I don't think. But typically, the cheaper the pizza, it seems like the better it is. So because I'm anti red sauce. So a lot of times when you have good high quality pizza, it's it's all these ingredients and oregano, and I'm like, yeah.
See, I'm with you. I'm with you on the cheap pizza thing. I can get down with cheap pizza, but there's probably like a cheap pizza bell curve, right? Like at some point, you're
I'm
gonna
still trying to
pay for
figure
it.
out where the post game pizza is.
How long do you stick around?
I have to do fifth quarter.
So like an hour after the game, just kind of mingle around in the cafeteria area. You might run into some.
They bring pizza back out there? Yeah, because you guys go in there and do you guys go back upstairs to work?
Sometimes.
They gotta write those stories.
There's no place down there to actually work.
No, you can. I just like to stretch out a little bit.
Oh. Wow, good on you for going all the way back up there. That seems far.
I get my steps in.
Andy gets his pizza.
Fudge just asked me to go down for pregame to do those hits, and I'm like, I cry like a baby.
I've almost died going up the stairs right before the game. I've taken the stairs, and there's nobody in those stairwells pregame. It's like if you ever don't see me in like the first quarter, somebody needs to go down the stairwell.
Go check the wells.
Check the wells.
So I remember this was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I won't even say what game it was, but if I would have had any sort of drinks, that stairwell would have been my consumption would have been, because the stadium was emptying rapidly. My mood was deteriorating, and I was like, where can I go and hide? That stairwell is lock stock. By the way, I got caught waiting for the service elevator last week. Ooh. Apparently, everybody's hip to the service elevator now.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just...
us nobodies can't take the service elevator. We get a stern look.
Here we go.
The unwashed masses.
The unwashed
can't do it.
masses and the nobodies.
The trade off is post game pizza, and we have to take the regular elevators with everybody else.
Sorry about that.
When you got that many people in the elevators, it certainly smells like the unwashed masses. That is for sure.
It's like a BO tank.
Especially Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know where this went wrong.
Yeah.
Bruntz, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the game.
guys. Yep.
That's our guy, Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7. We're going to take a quick break here before we get to Anthony Broome to get the Michigan side of the story. But before we do that, if the next step in your story involves buying a home, Centris Federal Credit Union has you covered. Whether it's your first home, your next home, your dream home, second home, whatever it is, doesn't matter. They've got you covered with a bunch of different options, programs, and experts to help you out. Everything from a VA to FHA to conventional loans, they are approved to help you out. Get connected with a Centris mortgage expert at centrisfcu.org. Terms and conditions apply, federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender. We've got Anthony Broome from thewolverine.com coming up next.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
He told me. He said, I mean, he's seen it a lot more than I have.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, shoot, I look back at the last 2 weeks and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. You know, so I mean, game one at Cincinnati was incredible. You know, with our fan base, and you know, then the night game was something that I hadn't experienced here. And then you turn around, you go, oh, it's going to look like at 11 o'clock. I've been in that situation to where it's been great. It's been great, and then 11 a.m. it's hot. And it's kind of, you know what I mean? And that didn't exist here last week. So, you know, I don't know what to expect other than greatness, you know, and I know he's looking forward to it. I know I am. You know, I know, you know, Coach Rule is. I mean, this is a big game because, you know, all of them are big, you know, and so we know who the opponent is, and it's our job to know everything about them, man. You know, what they're doing defensively, who they are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what their plan of attack is. And then, you know, on Saturday, you know, thinking that we know what they're going to do and having to adjust what they are doing. That's just part of our job.
I have not watched a ton of the match back yesterday. I watched a little bit of the fourth set, like from my house last night, just to see what it looked like on TV and what the crowd looked like and that kind of thing. And so I would say my biggest takeaway is that we played in front of a great crowd and a lot of joy and all of that. Just live, I felt like we let some tips fall in that fifth set that we don't normally do. Those are the ones that I think as a team we want back. I mean, the biggest thing that we always talk about, like we pick up the junk, we don't let that kind of thing score. So I thought we had some moments in that fifth set to save some points and score in transition that we just didn't do. But I really like the swings that we were taking on match. Our big priority was to slow down their outsides, and I think they both hit in the hundreds. Jaya, I just think doesn't get enough love for what she does as a blocker. We've put her on every opponent we faced this year's top outside, and she's shut pretty much every one of them down. So she's a phenomenal blocker, and we're just really lucky that she's on our right side.
That's bbbsmidlands.org.
That's right.
That's
Yep.
bbbsmidlands.org. And it's right at the top of the page there. I'm looking at it right now. You can click to register for the 4 potential 2025. Before we let you go here, anything else we should know?
I don't think so. I think that's about it. We're just we're really excited for this event and just feel very honored that Hurrdat is partnering with us as our media sponsor. So thank you guys so much for having me on, and thanks for
Absolutely.
all of the support of our you know, of our organization and our programs.
Last question for me,
Sure.
because I know somebody's going to ask whenever we have fundraisers and stuff like that. People like to know, like, hey, how is this helping? Like, how does this help your organization?
Sure. Oh my gosh. Yes. Great question. So all of the money that we raise through this event and all of our fundraising events goes directly to our programs. That helps us with all of our community-based mentorship.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Don't forget, you can come in here and watch all your NFL games, whether it's Thursday night like tonight or Sunday. They've got NFL Sunday ticket here as well. They've got you covered no matter who your favorite team is. It'll be on here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Yeah, and you could. I need somebody to try the loaded potato pizza for me.
You want me to give that a try?
Yeah,
I can do that. We can make that happen.
I didn't pay much attention.
I'll be in here
week
this weekend.
when I was in here Saturday, because I ordered from online.
Yeah,
and I hadn't read the specials yet.
Yeah, I'll try the loaded.
It sounds interesting.
Potato pizza. I'm going to be here Saturday for most of the game. So.
Oh, are you out? Are these doors open?
I believe so. Yeah, during the game usually.
Oh no, I don't know how you did. Yeah, no.
No.
No, you need to padlock that thing, lock that door. This wouldn't be a bad spot to just sit in here by myself and watch the TVs.
You mean like we do every morning?
Yeah. Why don't you do that?
DB, I'm a man of the people.
No, you're doing too much. That sounds awful.
I think you forget that I'm dramatically
different,
less well known than you are, so people don't bother me. And not that they even bother me when they say anything to me.
But how can you focus?
What do you mean?
Like you can just concentrate on what's going on.
Yeah, just lock in.
People talk.
I'm telling you, people don't like. Every once in a while, somebody will come up and be like, "Oh, I love the show" or whatever.
It's
but
not like
they
people.
don't.
I don't mean people talking to you. I just mean noise.
Oh no, the noise doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me at all.
Oh, and I get it. It sounds weird because I'm a guy who has people talk to him in his ear during the game. But
yeah, I don't know how you do that.
It's not.
To me, because it's like nobody's talking to me. It's just white noise, right? So I don't even hear it. Like once I get used to it, it's gone. Like that background noise doesn't bother me at all. I'm totally fine.
It's funny how white noise is innocent. Doesn't bother you that much.
Black noise. I don't even know what that is.
It's not even a word.
I know. That's what are you insinuating?
Ravi.
Incredible.
I want to get to some of these numbers that our guy Adam McClintock sent us.
You have no shame.
Anthony's wrapping up a call right now. It should be a minute or two.
Black noise, huh?
Well, I thought that's what you were referring to. I was like, I don't even know what that is, DB. What's up? I think there's a thing called brown noise.
What would that
There
be?
is. No, brown noise is a thing. I'm not making that up. I'm going to Google it.
What?
I don't remember. I think it's a different type of background noise. Brown
Lee says
noise.
it's a dark. It's dark noise. Is that right?
I don't know. So brown noise is a lot of people will use it to help them sleep.
The brown noise?
Yeah, brown noise.
What is it?
I'm trying to find out here. Brown noise.
I don't believe a word. I think your Googling skills are
brown
so
noise
subpar.
or red noise is a deep, rumbling sound similar to distant thunder, heavy rain, or strong waterfall, characterized by a greater intensity of low frequency sound. Some people use it to sleep.
Okay.
That's a real thing. Brown noise is a real thing.
I believe you.
See? It's
Or
also
they could just call it like rumbling and thunder, and they could just call it that.
Why, you don't like to call things brown, Shane?
I don't know why everything's got to be color.
Well, if you're not colorblind, sometimes things are.
Yeah, bad point.
I'm wearing a black shirt, so is DB. What color shirt you wearing today, Shane?
I'm rocking Hurrdat.
Dark gray.
So I'm looking for an under, like a long sleeve for one of my other Hurrdat.
Oh, we can talk to our brand
What
guys.
color is
the orange
script? So it is orange, right?
I think so. What is on here? Must be Pop Tarts or something.
You Sipple?
I don't know.
Cookie crumbs?
Probably Pop Tarts if I had to guess.
I need to find a match. I don't know what color that is.
The brand guys should know.
Otherwise, I just have to go black on black and keep it simple.
Black on black on black. You want to go with an orange undershirt? Because I've got an orange undershirt today. I don't think it quite matches. It's
No,
close,
it's not
but
even
it's
close.
It's in the neighborhood. Don't be dramatic. It's closer in your red.
Yeah, whatever.
Why are you being so mean to me today, DB?
Did we rewind to the whole white noise thing?
Yeah, brown noise.
You said black.
I'm a big brown noise. I got it wrong. I was close. I knew. Never mind. So Adam McClintock sent us some really interesting numbers. We talked about him with Bruntz a little bit here, but I wanted to give kind of greater context. So
that is very interesting.
So the talent gap between Nebraska and Michigan is about the same in reverse of what it was to Nebraska and Colorado last year. So to your point, Nebraska talent-wise was just better than Colorado last year. Michigan viewed as more talented than Nebraska this year. They actually,
Makes sense.
Their model actually has Nebraska winning this game because of how dramatic the coaching effect is on this game. Like it's close. It's close to a coin flip, but they've actually got Nebraska as the advantage here, despite the talent gap because of the coaching. So I think that's super interesting. And like I said with Bruntz, the biggest discrepancy is head coach, offensive play calling, and Eckler.
Can I just say this about the future headlines?
Yeah, I'm ready.
No one this week has picked anything defensively.
Yeah, that's correct.
But if we're so skeptical about Nebraska defensively and they win, why wouldn't we be talking about the defense?
I can't speak for anyone else. I am not skeptical about the defense.
Listen to the question.
No,
you sound like some people that I talk to frequently. That's not the question.
Why are other people not saying it would be a future
How in
headline?
the same vein, if you're concerned about the defense and Nebraska wins, is somehow the defense not
the headline
in the future headlines? Do you think Nebraska's just going to outscore Michigan?
No.
And I get it. To win, you typically have to outscore, but like we're very critical of Nebraska defensively.
Royal we, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Shane, do we have A-Train?
Yeah, we do.
All
He's here.
Let's get.
Well, I don't know him well enough to call him A-Train. I just think Anthony Thomas. I think.
So I'll say that's who I was going with. I was going with Anthony Thomas. We've got Anthony Broome here from the Wolverine.com joining us to preview Michigan. Anthony, how are we doing this morning?
I'm doing well. A little bit tardy. Probably need a little more coffee in me, but appreciate you guys having me on.
AB, man, we parse through this thing every which way, but sideways. I ought to get your thoughts from the local perspective. Do you think there's more concern? Not concern. Who do you think feels better? Nebraska about their defensive line and its questions, or Michigan about its offensive line and their questions?
That is the question of this game.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily know where I stand on it. I think that Michigan's offensive line questions can be somewhat answered just by them playing more together throughout the year, but I don't know. I mean, they went to Oklahoma 2 weeks ago, and it was bad. It was really bad, and they're a little more injured than they were then. So you come back last week, and it was a thorough and dominant effort, but, it was Central Michigan. So where I stand, I'm as fascinated to figure that out as anyone.
How much do you think was the design, the bootlegs and getting Bryce on the edge is a direct result of what was happening up front versus that's how you feel, that's that's how Michigan feels, Bryce would be most comfortable?
I think that by them running him last week was a bit of an admission that, hey, this is a dual threat guy that we tried to retrofit into, Sherrone Moore's offense, which to a lesser extent is what Jim Harbaugh's offense was. But this is, you brought in Chip Lindsey to run some explosive, creative stuff. And, if you're not using your best player's talents, you're not running your best offense. So it certainly helps, though. When you look at the numbers it does for you in the box and how it changes the math on who you need to get to and what sort of lanes are open. Once we saw Bryce put that on film last week, those run lanes were a little more wide open, albeit, again, level of competition caveats aside. So I really think it's a mixture of things. I think it can help the offensive line, but I also think it's just them sort of routing into the form that we think they should have as well.
Anthony, how did you feel about obviously the runs last week against Central Michigan were very impressive. How have you felt about Underwood's decision-making in the passing game, especially when it is concerned with passes over 10 yards?
Yeah, it's been hit or miss at times. It's not. I've been more impressed than not. He hasn't put the ball in harm's way a ton. He had a pick last week that was ill-advised. There's a couple throws here and there where you're like, okay, he probably needs to take a little bit of mustard off of that. But other than that, I've been pretty struck by just how, he looks pretty good relative to college football quarterbacks in general, not just for a freshman. I think he's got an advanced kind of understanding of getting the ball out quickly, feeling out the pressure. He's put a lot of work in this offseason to make sure he was ready for that as well. So, it hasn't been perfect. They haven't really, he's not throwing the ball all over the field or anything like that. They are doing their part to make sure that he takes what a defense gives to him. But overall, a couple turnover-worthy plays on there, but I don't think anything super egregious.
Anthony, tremendous depth, it appears, with the bodies you can shuffle in along the D-line. It's Michigan. It's probably always going to be a strength. There's some active slider linebackers, one in which we obviously know really, really well. How do you think that front seven complements the way that you think Michigan needs to play on Saturday against Nebraska?
Yeah, to be frank, I don't think the defensive line in general has been disruptive enough. And that's where, they moved Jay-Sean Barham down from linebacker. He played all of his snaps at edge last week, which we don't know if that was just a baptism by fire experiment. We don't know if it was, hey, we're switching you to this spot full time. We're not going to know that till we see what happens on Saturday. But
I'm just telling you, here we would be terrified because we would say he's too small to be playing D-line. That's what we would. That's what we would say here.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's a curveball. I don't know if he's. We don't know how that's going to be deployed yet. Now, Ernest Hausman, I know you sort of hit on him. Hasn't been as good in coverage early on this season, but it hasn't added up to what I thought it would be on paper yet. I think a lot of those pieces are there for them to make that jump at some point, but it was a huge test for them. I know there's a lot of stuff on film from that Oklahoma game where I'm sure that Nebraska is licking its chops.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I felt kind of affirmed. I've got to do the broadcast every week for the network, and between myself, our play-by-play guy, and our site, we always pick to click. I took a tight end this week after the first handful of weeks of watching Michigan. Is the coverage thing for you that you hit on, is it more about kind of discipline or settling in to kind of all those Wink brings pressure. They play a certain way. Are you willing to give that up, or does it just need to be better, in your opinion?
I think the linebacker play just across the board needs to be better. Okay. A lot of the things that I'm seeing right now are things that I saw early last season, but then, two-thirds of the way through or whatever it was, a little over halfway through, both Jay-Sean Barham and Ernest Hausman, it seems like once they clicked into playing really good football, it stabilized the entire back seven of that defense. Even when they, you were without Rod Moore and you had some other guys banged up in the secondary. So I really do think it's as simple as, do the linebackers play well or not? That's obviously when you look at what the tight end did those first couple of weeks, that's to me, I just think a little bit of over pursuit, a little bit lack of discipline, so to speak. I think a lot of third and long conversions too. So the linebacker play to me is, I just got off of our podcast, and it's I think this game, for whatever team wins it, they will have done it by winning their battle over the middle of the field.
It's my number one key this week.
Anthony, when you look at what Nebraska does offensively, and you look at Dylan Raiola and what he's done so far this year, what concerns you about what Nebraska could potentially bring to the table?
I think that it's the fact that obviously he's extremely talented, can make almost all the throws. I think the thing I'm struck by is that the way that Dana Holgorsen has called their offense, like they're content to dink and dunk their way down the field.
It's shocking. I like it, right? I agree with you.
And when you do that, like you're supplementing or approximating kind of how demoralizing, moving the chains in the run game would be too. For a team like Oklahoma, I thought when Michigan, I thought at times in that game where it was pretty close, you could kind of sense a bit of frustration that they weren't getting everything they wanted down the field. For Michigan, obviously it's going to be making sure that if you do get dink and dunk down the field, you're forcing field goal attempts instead of, those shots to the end zone. But I think to me, it's the patience. It's the patience by which they've been able to operate. And, I know there's level of competition questions around, how they've performed too, but just, I think what you've seen them, specifically Raiola do is do a good job of taking what the defense gives them.
Yeah, really good insight from Anthony Broome with Wolverine.com. I want to listen. I'm enjoying this conversation as much as anybody. I want to go to special teams where seems to be a little bit of nervousness, a little hand wringing about what's going on with special teams. Nebraska has not been good, over the last 9-10 years. They're making a ton of progress, obviously, under Coach Eckler. Is that a place where you think either team can make hay come Saturday?
Certainly, especially if this is the coin flip game that I feel like it is, that a lot of Nebraska people feel like it is, that Vegas feels like it is. You kind of look to the margins of the things that could swing it. And, Michigan's special teams, it's kind of the opposite. They had been good for a decade or so. And then really since last year, it's, the coverage units haven't been as strong. The punt return has been a complete and total circus in the early part of this season.
Just the decision making is interesting, right? That's like the tactical versus you just got to make better decisions back there, right?
That's the key to all of it. I think there's been a general lack of awareness of what the smart play. Your eyes kind of get big as a punt returner that, hey, I can catch this and house it. But sometimes the best play you can make is just kind of waving your arm and living for your offense to take the reins there. So, yeah, that's a huge key in this game. And I'm a little uneasy about on the Michigan side of things.
Anthony, if, we talked a little Vegas there in terms of being a coin flip game. If Michigan were to win this game, where does the score need to be?
I
think this is a game you want to keep in the low 20s. I think if you can find a way to keep Nebraska to, 20, 21 points, you're going to give yourself a chance here. I think if this turns into a shootout, be a little, I don't want to say uneasy. We haven't seen this Michigan team play in that type of game yet, where there's a little bit of resistance there and you got to keep answering. So I think this is a game where if Michigan's going to win it, the under probably needs to hit when you're looking at the betting side of things. I think it's at 46.5 as of this morning. That's kind of what I'd be looking at.
I was not surprised that it opened at 44.5. I am surprised that it's been bet up to 46.5 because I think it will be relatively low scoring. And on the heels of that,
you think an over goes to Nebraska, though?
You're talking to Anthony?
I would say so. Yeah, I think if they, mid-20s and higher, I feel like Nebraska's probably walking on this one for them.
All right, let me get you out on this, Anthony. I'm curious, just combing through this and watching design runs versus impromptu versus pocket presence, when he gets out versus when he steps up. For all of Bryce Underwood's accolades, given his druthers, do you think he strikes me as a guy that rather throw the football than run the football? Is there a difference between who you think Bryce wants to be versus who Michigan needs him to be? Or are those two things joined?
I think that he and Michigan are still kind of trying to figure out how he's going to be at his most effective here.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'll give him credit. As a guy who turned 18 a little less than a month ago, I think he's got an advanced understanding of where to go with the football. How your hips need to be. When you do a handoff, like he's super detail oriented for a young guy. So, I respect the hey, let me hold on to the ball, see how long I can maybe make a play or something might open up. But I think for Michigan, when they've been at their best this year, it's one read, two reads. Okay, you don't see anything, get out the back door and make something happen with your legs. So of all the running he did last week, I think only one or two of them were the design runs.
Yeah,
so,
I completely agree.
Step in the right direction there. Just I think with him, it's the quick decision making, but what's the quick decision you want him to make is still the thing they're trying to figure out.
That's Anthony Broome from the Wolverine. Great stuff, Anthony. Enjoy the game on Saturday.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Thanks,
That's
AB.
Anthony Broome from the Wolverine.com.
It's pretty insightful, and not just because he
agreed with you.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
He was.
I can't. Was it Avery? Like who? I was talking. I'm telling you, the intermediate passing game for Nebraska is.
You said that on here a couple days ago.
It's the thing.
So,
it is the thing. I think they can make some hay. I think they can control the line of scrimmage. And it was not shocking, but it was very interesting to hear him say out loud, you know what? They struggled against OU, and they're not as healthy
as
they were then.
Yeah, on the offensive line specifically.
Kind of knew that, though, with the guard. But it just – he's like that's a thing.
Yeah.
It's not just us hoping and praying. It's clearly a thing.
I want to do something super quick here. I know we're –
yeah, it's not like we haven't gone late almost since every day since last Friday.
So teams that I think have played really well this year, real quick, and I promise I'm getting to a point. Texas Tech, yes, agree?
Correct.
Indiana?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. Missouri?
Yes.
Miami?
Yes.
USC?
Yes.
For the most part, Penn State?
Yes.
But
it is how they play.
That's who
the
they
answer
are.
is yes.
Ohio State?
Yes.
Illinois?
Yes.
Oregon?
Yes.
Okay. Those are PFF grades of some of the top 15 teams in the country. Do you know two teams I left out in that area? These are overall for the season, PFF grades.
Who's that?
Nebraska is at 7. You want to know who's at 5? Cincinnati.
I knew you were going to say that.
Something to think about. This might be a good football team. And Cincinnati might have been a good football team too.
Huh.
Somebody asked in the chat yesterday. This is why I bring it up. Somebody asked in the chat yesterday, and I think somebody texted you. Is Michigan just Cincinnati with a better brand this year? Something to think about.
Yeah.
That's DB.
I'm on it.
I'm Ravi Lulla. Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.